I'm weird. Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video. Right?
Hey y'all. Okay, y'all. I woke up on one. I don't know why. I don't know what the reason is, but I woke up on one. Okay? Just anxiety, just slightly like I don't feel like I was scrolling through my phone. I wrote a poem. I don't feel like I just don't feel like it. And I feel like it's probably because my period about to start. I'm starting to become keen to this cycle that I go through. I never paid attention to it before. I'm a Gemini, bitch. I'm chaotic. But I felt like why not come to y'all with some content? Y'all might be wondering why I'm not here for Real Housewives. I'm not here for Real Housewives because I just don't care right now. Okay? I'm gonna be real. I don't care. Not just yet. I gotta watch it again and then I'll get the care. And then I'll come through. Okay. But I'm here to say, yeah, it's a lot of strong, like, okay, it's a lot of energy that's going on. And I felt like I wanted to come and get that to y'all. And also because I'm tired of people. Like I was scrolling, y'all, and every story, y'all know it's like every day we had the same fucking conversations over and over again. Men and women, women and women, men y'all like to protect. Like it's just, I was just like, I am bored. Even motherfuckers trying to have deep conversations about the shit. I was low key bored of that shit too. I was just like, that was one of the things I wrote in my poem. Like, bitch, if my soul could roll her eyes. If my soul could roll her eyes, my God. But I got a cute little show for y'all. So I hope y'all are enjoying y'all Monday. And I'm gonna try to make this shit entertaining for y'all. Yeah, no, I've been saved. I gotta scroll all the way down and look for it, y'all. But I've been saved the statue situation. And shout out to Real with Yanni, because I saved it to come back to it because I didn't know how I felt about it yet. And then I watched Real with Yanni and she was discussing it. And I was like, you know what? Let me go back and take another look at it. Okay. So 12-foot statue of a Black woman has been placed in the middle of Times Square in New York City, created to represent inclusivity. Thomas J. Prince, a British artist known for sculptures that explore race, identity, and representation. Okay, hold up. Let's look up that individual. Thomas Prince. Y'all tell me, how do y'all feel? How do y'all feel about this? Down in the comments. Let me know. Because to be very honest with y'all, this looks like the Black girl version to the average lower to middle class white woman. I don't know if y'all want to be honest about that. But this looks like if you go in like on TikTok, they'll have videos of AI with the most average looking woman from whatever state looks like. And this looks like, this looks like the average Black woman. It absolutely does. But there are things about it that I'm bothered by. And we're going to get into that. Okay. But I also want y'all to understand that I don't get offended by this shit anymore. I low-key feel like y'all, I feel hurt whenever wrong happens to anybody, to be very clear. Well, we'll get to that. Not everybody. But as a whole, like I view these situations like, oh my God, here y'all go again with that bullshit. And I just refuse to buy into it anymore. Like the race shit, I refuse to allow y'all to get me upset. I refuse to like have these arguments with some of y'all where I act like we all act like it's not what it is. It is exactly what it is. Everything is flipped on its head. Everything is bullshit. And I've been knowing it for the longest. Like I've been knowing this shit since I was a child at a middle school with all white teachers, how they treated me, how I knew I was smart, but how until it, I had to like rally all of the fucking students because they couldn't get us some teachers, like a child having to be more responsible all over the place. I was watching white people fuck up the exact same way I was seeing black people fuck up, and sometimes even worse. So it's very, very weird to me how black people perceive white people and therefore how they perceive themselves. A lot of y'all don't recognize that y'all, by getting upset by these things, at some point you're agreeing to the lie that they're telling you. You're agreeing to whatever the bullshit lie that they're telling you. Whenever black women talk about how oppressed they, black men too, like this, oh, we're so oppressed. You know what the situation is. You know what the real of it is. We are in certain ways. But as soon as you give that to your mind as a part of your identity, I think it stunts your ability to grow past it. And that's why I always tell y'all a dead clock can be right twice a day. And that is what Kanye West and Candace Owens are always talking about. They have found a sliver of truth in their weird ass self-hating ideology, which is that when black people believe these things about themselves that have been told to them by their oppressors, when they believe these things, it aids in their own oppression. And that's why, yes, you clock the things that are happening that are unfair because we want fairness across the board. But you don't get so caught up in being black and being mad that people oppress black people that you can't see the facts of the situation. You can't see the situation for what it is. Okay? And when it comes to this statue, I saw it and I was like, I mean, that really is how the average woman looks, and there's nothing wrong with that. The problem looks the hands on the hip, the way she's standing, not a smile, but a stone face kind of stare. And it gives how y'all view black women as the authoritative mammy mother figure, right? It's basically how you know, but I also feel like when you see white women in real life, when they do those AI representations of white women, they most of the time be looking exactly is what you think. Okay. If they in the upper east, if they in the east, they probably gonna be a little thinner, but they're in the south, they gonna be some big white girls. Okay. Child, nowadays I've seen more white girls with BBL bodies than anything. Okay, nothing is being done in a vacuum, people. But this didn't offend me because I feel like there are black women who look like that. And I also feel like our anger should be represented as well because we have a right to be fucking angry. We have a right to be angry. We have a right to look how we look, to be who we are. This is not all of us, but we have every right to stand in that space, looking that way, being mad, having our hand on our hip. You know why? Because everybody's fucking up. That's why. Everybody's fucking up. So a black woman, no, listen to me. A black woman standing however many feet high, representing an authoritative look on the world in displeasure of it, I can see that point of it. Because we absolutely are standing on the sidelines with our hands on our hips, looking at y'all like okay, like this is just my points of view. Okay. And I can see you saying it's just not positive promotion of black women. What I am saying is we don't always need to be represented as positive. I think that's a trick of the mind as well. Your anger has every right to exist. This version of us has every right to exist and be celebrated as well because she has every right to be angry. I feel like we have to show up in a certain way so white people will see us a certain way. But at the end of the day, there is power, there is virtue, there is beauty, and a black woman with her hands on her hips, mad about something that we should absolutely be mad about, but everybody's too afraid to be scared, afraid to say. They're too afraid to show their anger when shit is wrong because we've been taught through slavery, through the, system hierarchy of oppression and capitalism to go along. Professionalism is seen as basically taking abuse with a smile on your face and saying, oh, please give me more abuse. Pay me less, please. Like, people are actually online telling y'all that y'all should be happy to receive less than the fucking boomers, and you should be trying it. But they don't have the energy for the jobs. They're just not going out of their way. Bitch, why should we? Why should we? I'm just saying, art is subjective, and people are allowed to see it however they see it. I just want to open you guys' minds up to a different perspective, because I want you to understand how your anger is feeding something that does not fulfill you. You have every right to your anger when you have it. You have every right to your anger when you have it. You do not have to be Claire Huxtable all the time. You do not have to be thin all the time. You do not have to look like a fucking Instagram model with a Coca-Cola bottle shape all the time. Because the women that look like this are more valuable sometimes than the women that have those Coke bottle shapes. It just depends on your perspective. So I feel like you can look at it a lot of ways. But please understand how your anger feeds something. Your anger feeds something, and it doesn't feed you. Not in these situations. When it's about race, your anger does not feed you. Let it inform you. Let it inform you. Yes. So y'all see us this way. There are some of us who are this way. There are some of us who have every right to exist in this way. But we are not a monolith, and we don't have to be. We don't have to be. But I also feel like there's no shame in existing in this manner as well. There's no, you know what I mean? I feel like we need to get past feeling like there's something shameful about showing up exactly how we show up versus creating this caricature of a woman that everybody wants to see. It's funny that you say that. Somebody actually said Queen Latifah, knock off Queen Latifah statue. And I just kind of feel like, well, I don't think so. I don't, maybe in the face, but Queen Latifah never had a bob of braids. That was never one of her choice hairstyles. And if Queen Latifah was gonna have a t-shirt and some jeans on, the t-shirt was gonna cover her vagina. You know what I'm saying? Her t-shirt wasn't gonna cut off right here. Her t-shirt was gonna go all the way down to the thigh. Okay, if she was gonna be dressed in jeans and a t-shirt. I want y'all to get Queen style right if y'all gonna try to play. Okay, I would need to see a roller wrap that looks like, you know what I'm saying, that looks like it might be able to move on the statue if that's what we was trying to do. I'm just listen, y'all not about to play, y'all know, and okay. And listen, you know what this also made me feel like? I've noticed that body type. Yes, it's the body type. But I'm starting to get offended by everybody wanting to have the same body type. I don't have that body type, which is why I feel like that, if I'm being fucking real. But I also feel like a lot of women don't have that body type. And I don't feel like people should feel like they're any less beautiful or their body isn't beautiful because it doesn't fit that body type. I think one of the best things about being a woman is really loving how you look, loving the person that you are. But I don't think we were ever meant to see ourselves and see other people the way we do. The way the phone reflects people back to you, the way the television reflects people back to you. I don't think we were ever meant to like focus on ourselves the way we do. Cause I feel like what it makes us do now is pick ourselves apart and try to look like everybody else when we're not supposed to look like each other. Cause I don't like uniformity is a part of white supremacy and patriarchy. Okay. I need for y'all to understand. It is a way to make everybody the same, like little soldiers. That's weird. That's weird. That's weird, y'all. And I feel like this was another thing that I got from Cree Summer. I want to be a woman that loves how I look no matter what. I want to be a woman that loves my own body, whatever that looks like. And I really want to be a woman that doesn't give a fuck about how anybody feels about my body at any time. That is what I feel like I am growing towards, because I refuse to let anything keep my spirit in bondage or my mind in bondage, meaning like feeling like I don't look my best will make me feel not as confident in the moment as I would like to feel. And that's why I dress the way I want to dress, and I don't really care about trends. And I don't, I dress for my comfortability and all of that type of shit. Because at the end of the day, if I'm somewhere and I'm not comfortable, that's all I can think about while I'm there. So yeah, I definitely want to get to a point where I am looking at myself as an individual and not in comparison to other individuals, because everybody's supposed to show up how they show up. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how I feel about it. And don't get me wrong, I like the old girl. The old girl gets me through. I'm appreciative of all the subtle beauties that that make me. But I definitely try to look at myself from the view of liking what I see from my standpoint, and not putting it through everybody else's preference first before I arrive to my conclusion on what I should look like. But yeah, y'all, I want us to love us for real. And it means loving those of us that do look like this and those of us that don't, whether that is hand on the hip, neck rolling, bob braids, okay, big old titties, all right, a realistic waist, motherfucker. Like, y'all want hoes to be out here breaking ribs so they can look like Janet Jackson from the We Go Deep video? I think not. Leave me alone. Okay? I'm really getting into this. Listen, it's all about how I feel about it. It's all how I feel about it. Okay? But let's move on from there. I appreciate everybody's, engagement on the subject. Now, this is the other thing I wanted to get into.
Every black artist or every black actor gets to a certain point, gets taken out. Whether it's Michael or Crosby or R. Kelly or Prince, they all either die under mysterious circumstances,
Nipsey,
or they become troubled and die of an overdose or some medication, or they get done for some sex crimes or whatever. I mean, in R. Kelly's case, every single one of those children were basically sold to him, but allegedly sold to him by their parents. I mean, and this is, we'll talk. Yeah, maybe that's a conversation for another day. But like, there's so much of that in the entertainment industry, but there are no prosecutions of white artists. There are no prosecutions of country artists. Nobody. Madonna's never got in trouble for her 16-year-old boyfriend.
Yeah, why haven't we got Eminem yet?
No, where's Eminem? Could it have anything to do with this?
The country stars you're thinking of.
Well, Eminem. Yeah, country star. Okay, yeah. I'll tell you after the show. No, I mean, Eminem woke up one day an angry lesbian, and with very left-wing politics. I wonder why that might have been. Who knows? Who can say? But it's only ever black artists who get their reputations absolutely ripped to shreds in public, get accused of the worst thing that a person can be accused of, right? And always when they get a little bit too big for their boots, a little bit too outspoken, a little bit too edgy, or a little bit too quote-unquote uncontrollable, when they won't take their meds, when they won't do as they're told, when they won't shut up about Israel, when they won't shut up about contracts, when they won't do as the establishment and as the architecture, the machinery of the industry wants them to do, suddenly they're guilty of underage sex with kids, people trafficking, all the rest of it. Well, I mean, maybe the truth is that the whole industry does it. Maybe the truth is that nobody does it, probably closer to the first one. But these selective prosecutions, I'm not a big like civil rights, let's defend black people for the sake of it guy. I don't even really care for the music that much. I like Ye as a singular instance because he's an artist in a slightly different league and a different caliber than the rest of them. I don't really listen to the music from the rest of that genre, to be honest with you. But even I cannot deny that the prosecutions are targeted, selective, and gruesomely unfair in the way that they are played out in public, and the manner in which the juries are tainted and poisoned beforehand. But this guy's like on trial, and Netflix decides to. I mean, come on!
They murdered Michael Jackson.
100%,
and they murdered. Someone gave Prince fentanyl.
they murdered Michael Jackson after he started talking about Jews. And I'm not going to say that what he said about them was right or wrong or whatever, but it is a fact of history that, first of all, they released the recordings of a phone call where he was complaining about Jews in some not very pleasant language. And I think he had a similar problem with Jewish people that sort of universalized to Jewish people in general, which every black artist or every black actor.
Okay. So I think it's so interesting, you know, y'all. They shouldn't have ever gave some of you niggas the internet. They shouldn't have never gave some of you niggas social media. And I'm gonna say it again. Some of you celebrities, they shouldn't have never gave y'all social media. Cause I think there's a certain mindset about this. Listen, I really want them to peep. Thank you, Callie. Wait, isn't this man a racist? Listen to this racist white man tell you that all of these black men were simply being persecuted and it's so unfair and it doesn't happen to white artists. They're getting off on you feeling angered by you being mistreated. They're getting off on you being angry. Oh, look at all these men. Look at all these men dying from fentanyl and going to jail for, listen, it is prosecution. And these black people in America are in the comments talking like this nigga saying something that everybody else is not saying on the internet. These are conspiracy theories. Y'all say them every fucking time somebody is accused of doing something wrong that you enjoyed they fucking music or you like they perspective on life. You like they social media. So now they couldn't have done what somebody accused them of doing. So now y'all decide that all of this is always a conspiracy theory instead of being fucking real about who people are, what they've gone through, and how life affects us all. If y'all want to act like it's always somebody sneaking in the middle of the night to unalive these men because they're about to topple the racist system, even though these are the men that have been living in this same system, buying into it this entire time. Bill Cosby didn't give a fuck about you. I want y'all to be real with yourselves. Bill Cosby didn't give a fuck about you. He didn't. Yet, he ends up going to jail for getting caught up for all of these stories. And y'all decide that the 80-something-year-old man that's been getting away with this shit all of his life is now being unjustly persecuted. Instead of seeing it as the people who do shit wrong and do it for an extended period of time will eventually get they just due. What goes on in the dark will come to the light. All of those sayings that y'all like to throw out, have y'all ever heard of this word that I hear y'all throw it around all the time? But when it comes to these niggas, y'all don't understand. Accountability. Y'all really sitting there letting this stupid ass white man feed y'all some bullshit so you can feel bad about being black. Because look what they do to the great black, as if having money or having fame is a signifier that you're a great person or a signifier that you have a great life. Y'all, most of the time, that is not the case. Fame imprisons people. Large amount of fame imprisons people. A lot of money, a lot of contracts, a lot of people depending on you to make money. That's imprisonment. It's also an addiction. So yes, the system is corrupted, but it's corrupted in every facet. The schools are built like prisons. The college education is what makes a lot of people actually smart, makes them read books, makes them critical thinkers. It's the shit they learn in college. They price that out of poor people's reach. So most of y'all will never understand the decisions you make because you can't afford to. Your churches are basically money laundering fronts for child predators. And that goes across the board from your Black Methodist Baptist churches to your white Catholic ones. Every single system, corporate America, those of us that work 9 to 5 jobs, giving up most of your life energy for a corporation that may or may not be there in 30, 40 years. Because we've all seen how many businesses parents gave their lives to, work, was a good, loyal employee, don't get barely nothing when they die, and the business closed down in 15 years. Ain't never to be heard from again. Your very real special energy and existence being poured into empty vessels so that you can survive in this matrix. That's what everything's corrupted, y'all. So when I say the conspiracy theories are not always wrong, but it's about perspective. Y'all have conspiracy, especially black men. Black men, I need y'all to hear me and hear me clearly. Most of y'all conspiracy theories just are a reflection of you not wanting to be held accountable for your bad behavior, your inactivity, your laziness, your bruteness, whatever it is. It's just y'all not wanting to be responsible for y'all actions. Like, that's really all it is. Because all of these situations are extremely different, y'all. All of these situations are extremely different. But my point is, we're all like, they really want you to believe that it's some secret white man in the shadows waiting until the black man is about to grab his light, and then he just comes in with a needle, instead of you seeing that these are black men that have already reached their light and been getting away with shit for years, just like everybody else that's on their financial, socio-economic level. Rich people get away with shit. Celebrities get away with shit sometimes, depending on who is invested in their image. Everything's corrupted. Everything. So when y'all really try to look at this from the angle of all of these men have been, all of these men have been, targeted. Everybody's targeted. Money. Everybody's a target. Everybody's a target for whatever, the powers that be, the 1%, those who are out here slipping, looking to find a fool that's slipping. Like, everybody is like, listen, let's talk about this right quick. Bill Cosby was rich most of his fucking life. Stop acting like this was somebody that was just a good old black man. No, y'all got to understand the saying that power, what is the saying? Power corrupts absolutely, or absolute power corrupts absolutely, whatever that saying is, y'all. But like, basically the saying is to mean that those who have a lot of power are easily corrupted. Those who hoard, yes. Those who hoard wealth, those who hoard resources, the big corporations, the people that have to make billions of dollars so that you can make a few thousand. Like, all of this shit is corrupt. And when it happens to celebrities, I think it just gives people an opportunity to make themselves a victim in their own life. And I think y'all don't get it. You can be real about racism, oppression. I feel like I very much recognize when I see it. But I also feel like, as a person, you cannot live with your mind or your emotions in a state of being where you are always susceptible or triggered by something. Especially when it's the same old song. It's the same old song. Yes, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Thank you. Bill Cosby was assaulting women for decades and getting away with it. Michael Jackson was ignorantly wealthy to the point that his mom and children are basically getting money for the rest of their lives based on Michael Jackson's decisions, not just with his will and leaving them a certain amount of money, but tying it with a corporation. So the corporation would have to consistently be making money and feeding it into the supply of money that Michael Jackson has put aside for his children and his family. But I believe, and a lot of people don't be real about this, sometimes when you've been touched, you have a proclivity to want to. You may not always act on it, but you'll be right on the cusp of it. I have seen enough SVU episodes, okay? I know y'all don't want to be real about that, but in most of these situations, these are grown men that have grown up after being assaulted as children, and they go into the music business, which is extremely sexual, alluring, and corrupt. And all of their vices and all of those things start to, you can have anything you want. So everything just gets worse. Whatever issues they had, it just gets worse. And they don't go and get help. As much money as they have, they'll go and get a doctor to give them some pain meds, but they don't want to go to a doctor for therapy because their wealth, their access, their success means that they did it right. So nothing's wrong with them. So they're not going to go and get help. They just going to be doing fucked up shit to deal with whatever their issues are. I think the shit that Michael Jackson did was very much because of his own pain, whatever y'all want to call it. And yes, they act like white men don't go through this. White men unalive themselves repeatedly in this industry, die of drug overdoses all the time. Some of my favorite comedians have either unalived themselves or had an OD. This is something that people go through, period, in life, because life is hard. And when you are an artist, you are extremely sensitive. I think people really don't understand that. Like being an artist, sometimes you are really being affected by everybody else's emotions a lot. And if you don't know how to ground yourself and take care of yourself, it will beat you down. So whoever you're trying to pretend to be, eventually you're not going to be able to do that. Right. Heath Ledger. Do y'all have some conspiracy theory for why those men unalived themselves and had drug addictions? Because if you go watch any of the documentaries that are done about them, you'll find out they probably had fucked up childhoods, mean or abusive parents, or left alone a lot, got assaulted. Everybody's issues will go back to their family life, the people that raised them, how they were protected, how they were nurtured growing up. And whenever we try to have the conversations about exactly that, y'all want to stay in a regressive mindset. You don't want to grow beyond the things that your slave mentality ancestors have taught you. You just want to stay in the same place. And then you wonder why these things are happening. Everybody's always looking for some big ass monster outside of themselves to blame for why things are the way they are. And you never want to really be accountable for what the real issues are. The real issues are y'all protect predators. So when there are people in the neighborhood or celebrities that are fucking Michael Jackson when he's a kid or R. Kelly when he's a kid, nobody says anything. Nobody does anything. Those men grow up, have wealth, have fame, and have a whole bunch of people pouring into an empty vessel inside of them. What happens? Bad shit. Not dealing with it. Prince. Why y'all put Prince in this? Why y'all put Prince in this? Prince ain't got no cases. He should have, because he had a thing for underage girls as well, like most of y'all do. But that's another thing. What y'all gonna act like that was a conspiracy theory that people say Prince was into younger girls, even though we was alive during the time and saw the nigga with the young girls? Everybody was alive for his relationship with Mayte. The fuck? But let's be real. We also saw Prince being a serious performer with narcissistic tendencies. You saw it in Purple Rain. He was being himself, working them people to death. And that's the way he was in real life. You watch a documentary on him, you find out how hard he worked himself. The reason why he was on drugs in the first place is because he hurt his hip. Do y'all remember watching Prince perform back in the day? Not only would Prince rehearse ad nauseum, Prince would throw himself into them splits and slide back up like he did, like he threw his body around for a long time, and then ended up taking pills so that he could deal with the pain and also still do his job. Prince was also very wealthy, fought in the 90s to have control of his money. To get control of his music and his masters. Okay. Like, he was good. Let's not front. He was good. The only problem, I believe, was I don't know if he necessarily put everything in place for his estate. Either way, right, jumping off for amps and heels. Exactly. So you get a drug addiction and eventually you take too much and you OD. Or like and Michael Jackson did that too. Michael Jackson was out with the propofol. Can I ask y'all why the fuck somebody would be asking a doctor to get them propofol to go to sleep? What nightmares are you having that you need propofol to go to sleep, y'all? People are not like, y'all don't want to think past anything. Y'all think very surface level. So it's easier to create this big bad when at the end of the day, a lot of these men have made choices and things have happened to them and they've happened to other people. Look at Kanye. Kanye is still a fucking billionaire. Online saying all types of anti-Semitic racist shit. His new album cover is what? 2 Ku Klux Klan members? Weird ass wedding photo? Like 2 people with with full KKK garb on, y'all. A black man who is close to being a billionaire, I believe, but very, very rich, being able to come on social media and say whatever fucked up shit he wants to say whenever he feels like it, and everybody's just like, nurse, somebody let him out. But y'all gonna sit up here and act like Kanye is being taken advantage of and all of this shit? I'm sure he is on some level, because everybody that's got a lot of money gonna have vultures. Everybody that's got fame is gonna have vultures. Does it make what they do right? No. But does it make Kanye some fucking victim all the time? Absolutely not. Yes, and supposedly he's addicted to nitrous oxide. And then these niggas will tell you this shit. They will tell you what they doing, and y'all still gonna turn around and say it was some, it was some white man, with a glove. Sam Cooke shit was weird. That was also during the civil rights movement. But it also could have been because you was out here fucking people's old ladies. And niggas is crazy. I can't remember Sam Cooke's exact story, but I think it might have been along the lines of some jealous dude came and killed him. That's a real thing too. You niggas is out of control. Crazy right here. I forgot Cuba Gooding Jr. Cuba Gooding Jr. grew up with famous parents. Are we really gonna act it weirded out when he starts acting like a weirdo? He another one of them black men that don't like black women. He to me, he's another one of those. And if y'all notice, them niggas don't be quite right in the head. Not the poor ones that you went to school with, and not the rich ones that have become actors and athletes. Them niggas is weird no matter their tax bracket. But you're gonna find a way to make them a victim. Even though they've been weirdos. And a lot of the men are misogynists and view women as just tools to accomplish a nut, or servitude, or a child, or a place to pour all of their anger and their wounds into. Eric Adams actually has evidence of doing stupid shit, and a lot of politicians do. And a lot of politicians get caught up. But he is the mayor of New York City, and black men are always under a microscope. Black people, period, are always under a microscope. So when you work in those businesses, you know what it is. Y'all literally just put together a hodgepodge of black men and try to draw this conclusion together under a conspiracy theory that all of them are being targeted, when in real life, everybody has had the same fucked up life as anybody else that's not famous, and you just get to see it on Front Street. When there are versions of these men that aren't rich all over the place. I'm from New Orleans. I know a whole bunch of niggas that used to just be sitting outside drinking some damn well because they didn't get to get to their dream. It's a whole bunch of them out here that's self-destructing, that's gonna die early. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure, a lot of energy, but also a lot of fucking success. And it's very, very weird the way this white man tried to frame these stories, and the way black people would then use it to victimize themselves, to further believe that they're being oppressed, when every documentary on Max is about how some white people have done some crazy shit and now they're in jail for life, or they got killed. I really think y'all like to think when y'all see things happen to Black people that it means it's happening to Black people all over, all the time, in a way that it's not. It is, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, these things do happen. People are racist, absolutely. But there are 1,000 documentaries about all the times a white person is getting caught doing some stupid shit, whether they are famous, whether they are just, a regular Joe Smo, whether they are a politician, they get caught for doing shit all the time, all over the place. And Black people seem to think that because they don't see it, because they don't feel it, it's not happening. And it is. But that's a part of the racism too, is to convince you that it's always happening to you so much worse. You believe what they tell you about yourself. You believe what they tell you about yourself. And that's what makes a lot of this shit work. Right. Netflix full of them documentaries. That's why I'd be like, what do y'all not see all of the times that white people get caught up? Yes, they get off way more than Black people do. But that's how it works everywhere in corporate America. And that doesn't mean it's right. But what the fuck we gonna do? You can call it out, but you can't act like somebody. You have to be cognizant of when somebody is victimizing other people. Y'all will victimize these men instead of viewing their victims as the ones that need to be held, to this level of protection. Like R. Kelly did do something wrong. And you have the excuse that, all of those girls, y'all have created that lie. I want y'all to know that y'all created that. I want y'all to know that as time has gone on social media, that went from being a comment that I would see ever so often to being a comment I see every time we talk about R. Kelly. Because y'all have let that lie that all of the people he assaulted or all of the people he imprisoned, whatever, all of those people were given to him by out of the 20 or 30 people that R. Kelly has been accused of harming, maybe 3 or 4 of them had situations where their parents brought them to a concert, or their parents knew somebody that would get their kid in the studio with R. Kelly, ignoring the tapes that came out in the early 2000s that I myself fucking saw. Y'all really be online talking about he don't deserve to be in there. Like I saw the tapes. I saw the tapes. You could download them on LimeWire and Napster back in the day. So it's funny how y'all rewrite history based on what makes y'all feel good. When in real life, that's not what the fuck happened. R. Kelly got away with that shit multiple times. There were videos circulating at barbershops, and he still got off. And y'all really out here thinking that, child, look, somebody got him just because you a rich Black man. They want to come and tear you down, as if he didn't get away with that shit over and over again. Y'all really live in la la land out this bitch sometimes. Not y'all, but y'all. Like, be fucking for real. Y'all, another thing that y'all refuse to be fucking for real about. Tory Lanez, man. I got everybody mad. I knew I was gonna make motherfuckers mad. I knew. I ain't care. Told y'all. I woke up on one. That's what we at with it. I don't like angry Bondi. Peace. Tory Lanez has been rushed to the hospital after being jugged in prison. Okay. He was jugged on the yard. The motive for the attack is unclear. Look, this was the first comment I saw. Regardless what side you on, just send up a prayer. Let me read some more before I start cursing. Yeah, you may be in prison, but you still a celebrity to a lot of people, and a lot of them dudes in there may be jealous. I will, in fact, never forgive Bigfoot if this man doesn't make it out of prison alive. Tory Lanez shouldn't be in there in the first place, but who am I to judge? What? God, please cover him in the blood of Jesus. God, please wrap your arms around him. The negative comments, cool, until you realize wishing ill will on someone else only brings karma to you. Watch the energy you put out. I said, I wonder what he did. I wonder what he did. Did he really get stabbed? I need to see evidence that he got stabbed. That nigga didn't get stabbed. I don't believe that shit. I need to see evidence. I need to see evidence that he got stabbed. I need to see a picture of the wound right now, pronto. If I don't see evidence, I don't believe nothing that nigga talking about, because all you niggas do is lie. So I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I need to see proof, bitch. And even when I see the proof, I'm still not gonna believe it. I'm still gonna tell you that this is all fake news and he ain't get stabbed. And y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Look. It's always some weird ass nigga corny. No, bitch, I could never be corny. But y'all real upset dick riding. I hope your old lady know how gay you are. JP Mega online looking a dick ride for a random nigga in jail. Okay, tell it to the judge. Look at him, big mad. And I had the energy today. Somebody said, damn heartless. I said, yeah, just like him and all his fans. And that's the irony to me. That's the irony about this to me, y'all. There are people in these comments still saying that this man did not pew pew Megan Thee Stallion, even though he's in jail for 10 years because of it. There is actual fucking evidence, like video of the scene, her bleeding from the foot, the hole in her foot. Y'all wanted to call it glass and all of this other shit. Y'all was coming up, but y'all still to this day get online every day and act like it's a lie and it's a conspiracy and he didn't do it and he shouldn't be in there, as if he also did not assault August Alsina, as if he did not also already have a record, which is why he wasn't supposed to have the gun. Somebody told me that they wish this situation happens to me. And I had to let them know, well, first of all, let's be very clear. This situation would not happen to me. I'm not a felon. So that means I legally can own a weapon. And I live in Louisiana, which is a stand your ground state, I'm sure. I'm sure. So if I were to pew pew somebody in the feet, I probably wouldn't end up in jail for 10 years. Especially because if I did do that, it would be a first offense. So even if I did do what he did, I still wouldn't probably deal with the same ramifications as he did, because I didn't make those choices. He did. But it's so funny how so many of you niggas out there want somebody like me to be held accountable just for saying it. I don't feel sorry for a man that shot a woman and y'all act like he didn't do it and lift him up every chance y'all get, like he's not violent and doesn't have a history of being violent. My situation wasn't gonna never turn out like this. I would never shoot a woman in the feet for no reason. She would have, you know what? I'm gonna tell you another reason why that would have never happened to me. Because if I was in that situation, a bitch would have had a gun towards me or been coming at me with a weapon in order for me to shoot her. So that means she wouldn't be turned away from me walking away. I wouldn't have shot her on the backside of her left foot as she was walking away. It wouldn't have went down like that, because I control myself. Again, I don't do cocaine. There are so many reasons why this would not have happened to me. But the fact that you want me to get shanked in prison, but you don't want the consequences for him, but you want those consequences for me. I have never done anything like this. And it's so weird to me the way whenever somebody is out here like actively harming people, y'all want, and somebody doesn't have sympathy for them, y'all want to act like, oh, but if it was you, I wouldn't be in that situation, sir. I'm not violent like that. I don't want to go around starting fights and shooting at people. It's not what I do, girl. It's not what I do. Y'all like to act like people doing those heinous things are just like normal and everybody's done it. No, we haven't. No, we haven't. There's some shit that we've all done. This is not one of them. This is not one of them. Talking about I'm heartless. I'm heartless just like his fans and everybody that act like he ain't do that shit. Everybody that acts like this man is a victim and he did not shoot at that lady, I don't care. I want to know what he did. I want to know what he did. Where was y'all sympathy for Meg? Y'all don't have no sympathy for Meg. A bitch in the comments calling her Bigfoot right now. Re-traumatizing somebody that got shot by this man right now. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. But I'm about to say, maybe he fell on some glass. Maybe he fell on some glass. I don't know. Maybe he went at somebody and they was defending themselves, because y'all know how that little leprechaun likes to fight people. Y'all know how that little leprechaun likes to get mad and jump up and hit people. This is wild to me. And so then let's go back to the last post where you got some white man telling y'all that all of these niggas are just, it's just a conspiracy theory to take down famous black men. Bitch, this is not the 60s. This is not the 60s. That was true at some point. That's not the situation today. all of that fame and power and money emboldens people. Hey, Crystal, what's going on, girl? Thank you for being a member. This stabbing sounds like the victim may have set this up for a field trip. Listen, that's what I'm thinking. I think you set this up. You probably paid that man to do it so that you can go to the hospital and get some drugs or something. Maybe you'll finagle your way out. Maybe you just needed a break. No, for real. For real. What gets me is not one time has this little menace ever said, I did not, he's never said it. He's never denied. He just, it ain't what y'all think, y'all. And it's not what y'all, but never really explained the goddamn thing about what happened. Okay? Like, I really want everybody to be so fucking for real. I want to, what was he wearing? What was he wearing? They big mad, and I don't give a fuck. I wonder what he did. Anyway, that's how I feel, y'all. That's how I feel. Now let's move on. Let's talk about Raven Simone. I want to play this clip first because I had to, I wanted to explain why I said what I said. Let's listen.
Then we never met before, but in 2016, I was on The View.
I just have a fundamentally, completely different way of viewing sex and relationships and marriage than you do.
I think everyone's kind of finding that space.
Okay, I want to be very clear that just at the beginning, in those first few, seconds of this woman saying how she has a completely different view. Who the fuck? Who she played back in the day, y'all? She was on what you call them, right? With the twins. It's giving conservative, right? Yeah, no, it's giving DJ from Full House. Thank you. Is DJ from Full House is giving conservative. I was taught that I'm supposed to serve, and everything is about procreation, and the relationship can't be solely about pleasure, because if it's only about that, then I don't get the financial security that I want, because most men with money haven't had time to figure out, how to fuck. And I want to be financially secure because I want to have an image like my wealth is God blessing me, right? And if you don't have my wealth, it's because God doesn't like you. You're not a chosen one, right? Yo, that's another thing I can't stand, that people say, oh, God, girl, if everybody's not chosen, niggas be out here. They was in the comments talking about God got him. Okay, God always got his chosen ones. Yeah, y'all, that's y'all worship the devil. Let me let her continue. But the way y'all went at Shan Boody back when she first came out, and I'll never forget, it's why I don't like Carmen from the L Word anymore. Okay, I don't, the girl who plays Carmen from the L Word, I don't like her now because she interviewed Shan Boody one time, and the weird way that they nice, nasty, or just plain rudely respond to this young woman and her outlook on life, to me, it's because she read the book. She read the book, y'all. There's literally, not only is there a book, I remember there was a woman back in the day, and I forgot her name because I know she's still on here on YouTube, that talked about how when men took over, when the patriarchy took over, it basically just stole a lot of things from women and flipped it upside down. It just stole, it repurposed. Okay. It didn't really come up with anything new. And it was all really about stopping the passing of land and money down through the women's line. Things started out as matriarchies because women were the ones that had the children. Nobody ever really knew who the father was back when these things were created. These societal systems were created. Nobody knew who the father was. Didn't matter. Okay. It did not matter. The woman gets pregnant. She's the mother. So whatever land or wealth she accumulated in her life is passed down to her daughter. Men did not like this and decided they wanted to rape and pillage. And basically, you see this in your Bible days. They go around basically burning people's villages down, raping women, killing the men that do live in those villages, stealing their shit, burning it to the ground, burning any books, writings, art. If they don't want to steal it, they burn it and act like it never happened. If it was a representation of a female god that they worship, they would burn it. They would make y'all forget about this time in history so that they can make y'all think it's always been men. When God was a woman is one of them. Y'all go out and come back in. I saw it buffer, but I waited until I continued, until I blinked back. I don't know what's going on, but I keep going in and out. It's done it twice already. But yes, it was a matriarchy first, y'all. Think about it. That's what would make most sense. If you're a human before any of these societal things are created and put in place, women are the ones that are bringing new life into the world from nowhere. Like, they're the ones that are doing it. So of course, people are going to think woman is your first god because this is the one that, that creates more of us. That was how this shit originally started. But a part of that book, they talk about the perversion is making you think that pleasure is bad by putting all of these toxic things on top of it. So you don't seek it in a safe way, or you don't seek it, period, in your life out of fear, because you feel like you're undeserving of pleasure. Pleasure is a bad thing. Pleasure is selfish. These are things that you have been taught so that you will consistently be in servitude to other people and not seeking out what your true pleasure, what you want out of this life, what this life was supposed to be for you, whatever your thing is. You don't have a chance to figure it out if you cannot follow your pleasure. And we are taught this in different ways. Like, for instance, whatever you want to do with your life when you were a kid or that you feel really strong about, how many people are going to tell you it's just a dream? And we all have dreams, but at some point you have to put your dreams away and be practical. Like that, yeah, all of that white supremacy, all of that patriarchal oppression bullshit. Okay. So the way what Shan Boody is talking about is something that is literally in books that needs to be studied more often than not. Y'all know that they control the school system. The reason why you don't know about female writers, y'all don't know about a lot of women that have created content to tell you the truth, because it is being blocked from your purview. You think they just now started keeping books out of the schools and shit? They've been misinforming us, or really trying to, create the little soldiers. And a part of that is killing individuality. It is killing pleasure seeking. Because if you seek pleasure, you're not going to allow yourself to be in these uncomfortable situations over extended periods of time that really only help the few, the 1%. Whoever the 1% is, y'all, They don't worship the same shit that y'all worship. They might pretend like they do, but they don't. They tell you what to worship, they worship something else.
For themselves. And so I do encourage people to try to ask if your friend is doing something different, ask about theirs. There's no, I'm doing it the right way or you're doing it the right way, but like, let's live a life that's pleasure-based, that works for us. And let's be more assertive, especially as women and as young women, about how we feel celebrated.
I feel like that's a dangerous message to give.
How is it a dangerous message? Let's listen.
To live a pleasure-based life.
Do you hear how crazy that is? What would your life be like if you really got a chance to do whatever it is that you really want to do? Especially if what you want is not about abusing other people. And I think because religion teaches that this freedom comes with like assault. Like, because when men don't have these parameters in themselves put in place, they go around raping and pillaging. I don't think women have that same issue. I don't. Why, you know why it's dangerous? Because you becoming a whore is dangerous for you. That's why. That's why. Everybody knows your whole childhood as a girl is your mama trying to raise you not to be the neighborhood whore. And sometimes shit happens to you or monikers get put on you regardless of what you've done. I was called a whore at a very young age, and I was a virgin until I was 19 years old. But because I was smart, they would sometimes think I had had sex already because I was smart. Because apparently as soon as you start fucking, your mind starts opening up more. I don't know, girl. But this is what the like 90s, 80s generation of women coming up around young girls. You are taught that knowing too much means you've probably been screwing. Telling you shit like you smelling yourself. Because that must mean you fucking, right?
Because it's just self-fulfilling, it's self-seeking, it claims no responsibility.
Self-seeking. You should be seeking self. How do you know who you are if you are not seeking self?
On your own actions, even your partner's actions.
Why is your pleasure bad? Why would you?
Oh, my pleasure isn't bad, but that is something that we do together. But to have your...
So you can't have pleasure on your own, talking about it's something that we do together. So you don't masturbate. Okay. And that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. How many young girls were taught not to masturbate? It's bad for you to masturbate, but it was like a coming of age thing for boys. Boys could be in the bathroom for 30 fucking minutes and everybody is at the dinner table knowing exactly what the hell they doing. But the girls, on the other hand, you're not supposed to do that. That's nasty. Save that for your man. Save that for your husband. Pleasure belongs to you in silence. Pleasure belongs to you when you are alone. It belongs to you when you are with someone. Your pleasure is important. If you were looking around, you would see how often it is neglected. You would see how often women are signing up for servitude so that they can neglect everything that fulfills them or makes them feel happy or makes them light up or makes them feel, sexy or sexual or, like all of these good feelings are supposedly what? Just for men? Ask yourself, is pleasure only for men? Because that's what it seems like to me. And that doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Relationship built.
We're the one with the clitorises, just to be clear. Just to be clear, your clit does not do anything else. It has no other function. There's everything else in your body got another function. This one thing does nothing, but it's supposed to be for your pleasure. How is this not God telling you that you're supposed to be seeking pleasure? Your hormone, God created your body so that when you get to a certain age, your hormones make you seek pleasure. It should be done in a way where you can explore and make mistakes and be guided and be taught. And you can explore it And I think this attitude we have with parents and kids where y'all, you know, these conversations are so uncomfortable. I think it does kids a disservice as they're getting older, because their teenage years are really the years that they should be able to figure this shit out under your roof. Because if you're really trying to provide them safety while they figure their shit out, it should also be through conversation and what's in teaching them early on, teaching them. I think a lot of people feel like, oh, that's too soon to be. It's really not. If you go look up the time periods that our brains are picking up on the most information, you need to arm your children with as much information, especially girls. You have to teach them how to be pleasure-based in the way they deal with themselves. Not the way they deal with other people, but the way they deal with themselves. Do you know how? So if you hide in a puss, masturbation helps you not allow you being hot in a puss to make you go be with some weird ass little boy that might end up getting you pregnant or might end up being mean to you or disregarding you. And then when the young girls is having these conversations about getting a teenage girl sex toys, everybody's like, no, they're too young for that. I'm not doing that. And if I find it, I'm throwing it away. But this is the time period where they're having the urges. And so if they don't have a way to relieve it or deal with it amongst themselves and figure it out for themselves, they're gonna go and do it with a boy that they can end up getting an STD from, that they can end up getting pregnant for, that they can end up in some stupid fucking relationship centering their life around him when she should be trying to figure out her own shit. Y'all have got to change y'all conversations around pleasure if y'all want these young girls to be able to be grown women and not be thirsty. A part of the reason why I have never really been thirsty is because I can get myself together. Girl, I'll be all right. You don't have to worry about that. But I'm just saying, like, along the way, like, I was never going, I told y'all, I never faked. I'm not doing all of that. You're going to do it until you do it right. And if you're not doing it right, you need to get the fuck out of my face. I'm not wasting no time exerting sexual energy to somebody and I'm not enjoying it. That's a waste of time to me.
Upon the foundation of pleasure, because the first instance that you are not pleasuring me in whatever capacity that is, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, then I just write you off.
But that's not true. But that's the way y'all think, right? If I am not centering my pleasure, that means I can just do whatever the fuck I want. I can just throw you away if I want, right? And y'all get so upset about people being able to release you when they want to, not realizing that the reason why you as a woman is scared of that is because that's how men handle you. That's how men handle you. Men are finicky and decide one day they don't want you and they just gonna up and leave you. Whether you are married, whether you have centered their pleasure, no matter what, that can still happen to you. But that's her fear. What she's talking about is if I was only focusing on my pleasure, then I wouldn't care about anybody else. That's not true. That's not true. You handle people with care. You have conversations with them. But everything does not have to be about somebody else's pleasure in order for it to be right. And that's what it sounds like she's saying. Like, that's so not true, y'all. It's so not true that if I am centering my pleasure, that means I'm just going to throw somebody away. No, that's not what that means. And the fact that you run to that is to me evidence of the battery put in your back by the religion and the men around you.
You're not fulfilling me and my needs. Instead of what a marriage is based upon is.
But we're not talking about marriage. We're talking about seeking pleasure in our relationships, and you're trying to make it seem as if it's virtuous for you to be in a sexless relationship. It's not virtuous, bitch. It's really not. If you're not enjoying the hump, I don't know what you're talking about. It's not going to get any better, hun.
Two people working together for the unity of good. That's what it's based upon. So it's not about you come into my life to fulfill my needs, nor am I in someone else's life to fulfill their needs. Yes, but you work together to build one another up to be the best together as a partnership, that unity becomes one to have a greater good for the purpose of life.
I respect that 100%, but I do think that there's a negative connotation with the word pleasure, as if it means self-fulfilling. For me, pleasure might be giving to someone else, giving to my partner, creating a dialogue. It's a matter of, are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you fulfilled? And does that life, is it linear? Are there a bunch of rules that someone created, 200 years ago that we're saying, this is what's going to work for both of us, even though we're completely separate people? So I don't look at pleasure as a self-fulfilling, selfish thing. And again, all that comes out of me, I believe as a creator's woman, is good. So I don't think that what I would desire to partner would be bad, or that I put someone in a bad situation.
I think that your philosophy is interesting, but I don't know that it works for Americans.
And I just remember thinking to myself, I wish that Raven was here.
I would have held your
would've had
back.
your back.
I would have had your back. I know all the ladies would be like, ladies, calm down.
Raven.
I love Shan's approach. This was like 2016. I think she said 2017, around that time. But just because something doesn't work for you, that's not the point. The point is opening up your mind, right? And I said, and I commented on this, and I said, you were right, they were wrong. And of course, people want to write paragraphs, right? How can someone's personal view on their own sex life be wrong? You know why it was wrong? It felt wrong. It felt wrong. It felt like Shan is being honest and open about opening up your mind to release yourself from a lot of the unhappiness that women carry. And a part of that is constantly ignoring your own pleasure. So Shan is coming into this space because I want to open up women's minds so that they can eventually be more satisfied, more fulfilled, and more happy. If they would just spend some time having a self-seeking attitude, it doesn't mean you throw away all responsibilities, but it does mean that you center yourself more than you center other people. And this all has its time. Like, I'm not going to always put my need first if the other person's need is more immediate. It just depends. Everything is a case-by-case basis. But as an individual walking through life, you need to be centering your pleasure, because nothing is worse than ending up with a nigga that can't fuck. Say what you will. Say what you will, Full House. Okay? And the reason why Full House was wrong is because I feel like she's indoctrinated into a religion, and she is having a fearful response to this young woman presenting her with information that scares how she views herself. She did not hold space for Shan. She took this as a moment to reprimand a younger woman for living a life that centers herself. And that is because a lot of older women have spent most of their lives centering a man or kids, but always someone besides themselves. And when you get to a certain age, that shit is terrible. It makes you unhappy. You're empty. You're sad. You're doing all of these things and nothing makes you feel good. That's because you're not seeking pleasure. That's because you've been told that you should not seek pleasure. It's bad. Only men seek pleasure. So yeah, Full House absolutely was wrong, because first of all, you're not even having a good faith conversation with Shan, meaning you're coming to the table to disregard her. You're coming to the table to spank her hand because you assume you know better because of your religion, because of your whiteness, because of your bob. You think you know best, right? And you don't know best. You don't know best, because your example of best is self-sacrificing at every turn. And I would like for us to be fucking for real as women. That's what we always do. The self-sacrifice shit happens every day, B. And what we find is women still not getting what they want out of the situation, still being talked about badly, still being blamed for a man's misdeeds, still not being pleasured, still not being centered, still not being happy, but doing everything right. Shan was more eloquent because Shan has had this argument, and Shan is having this conversation from a place of knowing. Full House is having this conversation from a place of judgment, because inside herself, free women scare her and they make her feel bad about not being free herself. There are a lot of women out there that wish they could be free, but they are mentally and emotionally and spiritually in bondage because of the way they view themselves, their sexuality, the way they think everything is supposed to be about a fucking family dynamic, as if life is nothing else but having babies with some man. Absolute jealousy, absolute hate. So when somebody says how she's wrong about her point of view, I said, I know, love. I'm saying they were wrong. Shan isn't saying that they were wrong. I'm saying that they were wrong. And I'm saying they were wrong not only because of how they handled you, but because they are basing their rightness on a religion that's meant to imprison them. And you are basing your information off of the reality of the situation, which is that no woman can ever be saved and sanctified enough. No woman can be perfect enough. And you will still do all of those things, not having any pleasure and not really getting the big rewards you think you're going to get when you make all of these self-sacrifices. You still end up not getting whatever you thought you were going to get. You find out, no, that's not how it feels. That's not what it is. You have to see this life as a journey. You have to see it as a journey to your self-fulfillment, to what feels good for you, for what you like. And yes, we're not perfect, so people make mistakes, and everything isn't always handled exactly how it should be. But as long as people aren't, I don't know, being assaulted or unalived or physically harmed at every turn, I feel like we'll be okay. People really take shit to a whole nother level when it don't even have to go there. It don't even have to go there, ma'am. It's not death and doom the way you think. Now, this is another conversation behind Raven and them was having, and I just wanted to listen to it. And y'all tell me what y'all think.
Like, yes, she was like the best sex of my life, or what should I not say was?
Was that a surprise to you? I mean, on camera, look at her. She red. Look at her.
Well, because I said
she already pink, but now she red.
Because I said was, and I thought
I'm not tripping over past tense. I was and still am.
Okay, so
give me all the tenses.
Because
not to squeeze and get into North Carolina.
Yeah.
No, because we had really great sexual. Like
we have. Okay, babes. Okay, you said it. I'm getting embarrassed now. Stop.
I'm just saying that existed in our relationship. That exists in our relationship, and we also checked the other boxes.
And so when we decided to sleep in separate rooms, it strengthened our lust and
how often we text each other. Because now we get to text each other goodnight.
Do you text each other goodnight now?
So why don't you tell a story about it? How I wouldn't say goodnight and you were so offended.
This is a whole different story, but
so offended. And now I say goodnight more.
Last night I did text her because I was on a phone call until like 11:45
and I was in my art cove. Yeah. Yeah, we text each other goodnight.
So Raven, how do I even say this? My wife is different. She's not your average person by any means.
Check the receipts.
So I'm a type of person who likes to say good morning and good night. Like, yes, she was like the best sex of my life.
I'm gonna go watch the whole thing, and I think it'll be a members only where we sit through it like we did with that other podcast, because Shan Booty's clips don't be that long. So I would love to do a watch along with my members. I'll let y'all know when I'll do it. But I don't think there's anything wrong with sleeping in separate rooms. But I really thought what was interesting is the way people talked about Raven and the way they talked about her relationship in the comments, right? So one of the comments that annoyed me, I miss the girly Raven. So you miss That's So Raven, the television show. You miss who she plays sometimes on movies, because anybody that was ever paying attention to Raven know that Raven has been given gay. Those of us that have always given gay know that Raven has always given gay. You want Raven to be a television or a movie character. But if y'all was paying attention, Raven was always gotta rock check, gotta get a rock. Like, she was always a little like swagged out. That's why people liked her. That's why people liked her, because she was swagged out. And, you know, and I guess the men liked her because the boys liked her because she had big boobs. I don't know. Light-skinned big boobs. Y'all love that? I don't know. Y'all are weird. But people who really like Raven because Raven's funny. Raven's smart. And as a black girl, Raven has been highly successful and kept her shit. Now she comes out, you know, as the gay person I feel like we always knew she was. Y'all get mad because she get a white woman, you know. I wonder about the black girls that got to go, you know, always go for a white woman, but I don't judge anybody. You know, some of them white girls are really cool, you know. As she said, Raven's a special type of person. Everybody may not be able to deal with her. Raven has zero swag. I feel like, how old are you, Jay? How old are you? Because I don't know how old you are, but if you did not grow up when Raven had the long braids and used to be wearing like the baggy clothes and wearing the sunshades and rapping in the videos, like if y'all don't remember that, then we can't have the same conversation. We're not having the same conversation if you don't know about, you know, Raven, you know, having having the braids up and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like hitting this shit. Like, well, Jay, I don't know what rock you were living under, because when we're the same age. So I don't know what rock you were living under. Maybe you weren't into Raven like that. But when we were growing up in the 90s, yes, Raven was absolutely given swag, and I mean swag in a way that she's not a girly girl. That was never the vibe. Raven Simone, the artist. Raven was very cool. That's what I'm saying. You can be girly and gay. Absolutely. Absolutely. But for a lot of women, with their gayness comes not performing femininity for people the way they want you to. And that's what I mean. Like it's escaping. And this is not just gay women, because straight women will sometimes do this too as they get older. You stop viewing yourself through how men are going to see you. And I believe that at some point Raven was performing femininity for people because it made her palatable. But the more she discovers who she is, the less that she has the need to do that. Like the less that she has the need to perform her femininity in a way that, like in the comments, I miss the girly Raven. Nobody said there aren't girly gay girls. That's not the point. The point is, for a group of said gay women, when you come into the realization of that and you stop performing your femininity for the male gaze, you stop being a girly girl sometimes. You still can step back into it because you're a woman. That's the good thing about being a woman. But you don't perform it in the same way. You know what I'm saying? Raven is a child to me. Well, I feel like Raven's like 40. So I don't, you know, y'all always trying to view us as children when we grown. Okay. Something about that wife I just don't trust. Y'all have consistently, somebody said Raven sitting over there looking like Orlando. That's funny. They don't look anything alike. They both light skinned. That's it, I guess. I don't know. I'm telling y'all that wife is her handler. And look, this one, y'all know there's always one. Nothing is better than dick. Nothing. Yeah, man. I remember a woman telling me that too, and still ended up eating coochie. Congratulations. Thanks for letting us know how dick thirsty you are. You always are so weird. Ask a man. I'm sure he'll tell you that that vagina is better, but you know. The fuck? Like just weirdo shit. But you know what that's about. That's because you want to impose on how straight you are, which makes me feel like you must really be gay in your spirit. You must, like, why do you, nothing is better than dick? Nothing. Nobody was talking about that. You are probably a DL woman. That's a weird thing to say. You got to force your straightness in this moment. Bitch, we don't even know you. These are the comments. You could have just not said anything, but you had to let us know. Straight woman here. I don't approve. Y'all hoes is aggravating. Okay. Gay in your spirit is crazy. I mean, it's not crazy. It's not crazy. It's what you actually feel and think, but won't allow to materialize in the real world, meaning that it's being done in spirit. Okay. Now, I really want to listen because I want to know what, you know, type of weird shit they into. And listen, I have my questions too about this relationship. Please don't get me wrong. did somebody noticed how, the white girl is always the one sitting in the front talking, getting all the attention. But I imagine that's probably because Raven be tired of that shit sometimes. I also think when people are in relationships, if all they got to do is show up for their partner in order for their partner to get some shine, they'll do it, especially if they used to getting all the shine. Like, it ain't nothing like, but of course, we are, as Black people, we are always very weary of white women. And it doesn't matter whether they're gay. It doesn't matter whether they're straight. Bitch, we gonna be weary of a white girl. Okay, do you hear me? Okay. But that's them people's life. I choose not to be emotionally bothered either way, but I do find them interesting. I do think there is something to be said that we need to get out of the mindset of pushing that one way is the way to do something. So for instance, sleeping in the same bed with your partner, I think older people used to do it all the time. Like back in the day, people slept in different beds and we thought it was because y'all were, they were being so puritanical, meaning like, oh, we not really fucking unless we pushing the beds together. But sometimes it's because I don't want to sleep next to you because you keep lifting your leg up, letting all the cold air on me. Maybe it's because sometimes you like to roll over all wild and shit and you end up with your head on my pillow and now my head then fell down. Okay, because you didn't put some extra weight on my motherfucking pillow. Or maybe you got up and peed in the middle of the night, and when you woke up and peed, that woke me up, and then I couldn't go back to sleep after that. For real, my grandparents at some point was in separate rooms. And I don't think it means you love people any less. I think we have built society on codependent relationships. So whenever y'all see people that are in relationships but not doing every fucking thing together, you think that something is wrong with the relationship, when actually it's just because you have not woken up to the fact that you still need to learn how to be an individual in your relationship. You still need to learn how to be an individual in your relationship, because best case scenario, y'all, is you are going to marry this man that you love so much, and based on statistics, he might outlive you or you might outlive him. This is not the fucking Notebook. Y'all are not going to die at the exact same time all the time. And so people have to be able to live their life beyond another person, which is why it is important, now that we understand this in real life, to have relationships that are built off of, I have my shit, you have your shit, we do shit together. If I can help you, if you can help me, you know what I'm saying? But essentially, it is okay that we may not want to sleep in the same bed every night. It is okay that we may not want to live our lives exactly like other people live their lives. Like, it's okay. It's okay. And the more we hear about it, I think the more it makes it okay for some people that, might be happier not sleeping in the same bed with their partner every night. Like, you fucking up my rest. I sleep better when I'm by myself. And sometimes you don't sleep better when you're by yourself. It just depends. Right. Cheryl Lee Ralph and her husband got separate fucking houses. It's choosing interdependence over codependence. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel like that's how you should be in general, because we all need each other. In one way or another, we all need each other. You need people that's going to, buy into whatever it is for you to make your money. We need people for food. We need, we depend on each other. So we have to learn how to stand on our own and be our own person, but also be able to work in community and in relation to other people without absorbing each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop absorbing each other. We're not one. We're working in tandem, bitch. We're two people working in tandem. We're not one. That's cute and everything. Okay, one of my favorite Spice Girl songs. When to become one, I need some love like I never needed love before. Wanna make love to you, baby. Add a little love. Now I'm back for more. Wanna make love to you, baby. Set your spirit free. It's the only way to be. Come on now. Y'all remember, girl? Y'all better. People used to play on the Spice Girls top. I used to be arguing with people in my mama's shop when I was a child. Y'all not gonna play with them girls like that. When you got really good slow songs too, people cannot play on you like that. and QT, this is where I learned that from. This is where I learned that from watching my own mom, just the women around me, or even the men sometimes, watching people outlive their spouses. Like, that's one of the things that I'm like, you have to create. Because I felt like I had to do that when my dad died. I said this all the time, if I was still living in a house with them when he died, it might have been way harder for me, because I had already started to live in my independence, meaning that I was not codependent on my parents in the same manner. It was not as big of a break as I feel like it would have been. I had created some separation in order to hold my own self up. That was very important. No lie, as a widow, I'm relearning myself as an individual. We always had our separate selves, but it's a new journey being by myself. Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's another reason why I feel like, women, when we talk about resting and feminine and, I can close my eyes and walk around, with my man. But at some point, you're going to need to know what he knows. You're going to need to know what he knows, which is why you cannot always feel like, I can rest in my feminine. That's not real life. In real life, you have to be both, and you have to be more than the other at different times. You got to be able to flow. Everything is a spectrum for a reason. Everything is flowing and waving and moving out this motherfucker, even if you can't see it. Okay? Now, happy Mother's Day, everybody. Miss, I can tell his breathing patterns. I can feel when he falls asleep. But he didn't ask if I ate today. And I'm losing my ass. I'm tired. And now I'm pregnant with baby number 2. Having 2 babies for a nigga that don't give a fuck about you. Cynthia G is hilarious. Cynthia said she got a white mama. She doesn't know any better. Red Bone Holmes, hey my love, you weren't getting any help for the first one, but congratulations on the second one. Like, so when y'all act like we don't be holding women accountable and all of that, that's a lie. That is a lie. We are all looking at Jazzy like, bitch. So I didn't want to hear you talking about how hard your life was last time. I damn sure don't want to hear this next time around. Postpartum is hard. And you go and get pregnant again by this fuck ass nigga with a humiliation kink. Girl, the funny part is Jessie Woo just did a video last week talking about how Cam does not really love this woman. And here you are, pregnant again.
High function.
What situation?
Okay, so I'm not married. I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
By how many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more.
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I just want God
about
to
your
bring
wife?
them. I just want God to bring them.
Oh, okay.
My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you had said, Dr. Brian,
Gotcha.
You said it. I didn't say it. I will agree.
Gotcha.
I'm just taking my time.
Gotcha. Look.
You're not taking.
That's the energy. Like, niggas are always trying to gotcha somebody. If you come into contact with a man that everything feels like he's trying to back you into a gotcha, like, I just want to flip my card down. Gotcha, bitch. Men win. I'm smarter than you, even though I feel like you smarter than me. Okay, that's usually that was the energy of that, right? And then she told him that he was playing games.
Taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action based. You're not taking your time.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating in...
So if men can be selectively active, why can't women be selectively active? Full house?
Disclaimer. The kids are innocent. They are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies. But you are proactively choosing
high function.
What situation?
Okay.
Child, listen. Thank you, Banji baby. Trying to gotcha somebody with your own life is crazy. Every time you turn around, bro. Every time you turn around, it's somebody with some stupid ass shit, bro. Oh my God. But this girl is pregnant for this man for a second time. Congratulations to her, girl. You're gonna do good for yourself. Speaking of, y'all see Keke Palmer and Darius spend Mother's Day together after she drops diss track, made me a villain for sympathy, but you lied. Making my way dum-dum, walking fast, faces past cause I'm homebound. Making my way through the crowd. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. And I need you. Da-na-na-na-na-na. And I miss you. Da-na-na-na-na-na. And how I wonder if I could into the sky. Do you think time would pass me by? Oh, cause you walk 1,000 miles. That's all I can think about. Bitch, you just walking. You just walking. Why the black and white video like she a struggling baby mom? You a multi-millionaire girl. You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about why is she walking and then she got that little bitty ponytail in the back of her head. So it's absolutely giving like, you know, hood black girl from the from a New York borough or some shit. And I know she's smiling and shit, but the way she walking, it's like you just wish she had a man that was big and strong to carry the baby for her so she wouldn't be struggling so much walking down the street. It is giving Crooklyn. It is. It is giving Yvette. The way Yvette was walking down the street because the nigga stole her car so he could go fuck Peanut. And then when Peanut show up, you show Peanut your titty tat with his name on it. The girls are misdirected. The girls are misdirected, Jesus. The girls are not getting the lessons that life is supposed to be giving them. I ain't mad. Niggas say I'm starting to think she's the problem. Why? Why are you starting to think she's the problem? I do think they're both the problem, to be real. Because to me, I feel like at some point these women be signing up for this shit. But I also feel like society is kind of pushing it like, girl, that little bun in the back, bitch. Girl, you know it's giving when you needed to get your perm. You need to get your hair redone because now it's stiff, right? Because you done had all of the, you had your roller wrap popping for a good week, girl. And now it's time, to go get it rewashed and done. So the hair a little stiff, right? And you got layers cut in it. So you get you like an old 90s ass scrunchy bitch. And then, you loop it and then you tuck it. But then it's always that little piece that won't stick out from your layer. And then your hair still kind of stiff. So now you look like you got a little bitty ponytail, but really that's not what it is. Yeah. That's what it's giving, girl. Keke always been a problem. Absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't want to admit it at first because I was looking at it from the perspective of what he was doing, right? Because people always try to blame women for what men do. But also as the person with the power in this dynamic for you to continue, you know what I'm saying? The way this shit look, it's weird, But I can't judge her either because it's like most of y'all stay with ain't shit niggas as long as they doing shit for the kids. Why y'all acting like y'all don't? Why y'all acting like y'all don't? Come on now, be fucking for real with yourself. It's a lot of girls out there with an ain't nothing, do nothing, know nothing ass that done her wrong, put his hands on her, cheated on her, stole her ATM cord. But she got a baby by him and that's her baby daddy, so she love him. And anytime he fuck up, she might like make him pay. You know what I'm saying? Like he gonna be punished for a long time, but she always gonna take him back because that's her baby daddy and she love him. And his seminal fluid is still floating around on her brain. But it's very much given that Brenda's got a baby. Oh my God. Them spending Mother's Day together doesn't mean they're together. Not everyone continues with toxic behavior. Some people go through it and can be friends. Cool. Yeah, this is very true. I just don't believe that. I want to, and that's a possibility. That's why I really don't care that much. But I low-key doubt it. I doubt it. You just had that baby not too long ago, girl. Then you still posting pictures with y'all together and all of that. Girl. People that's really not trying to deal with the nigga, that's not how they act. People that's really not trying to be with this nigga no more, this is not how they act, girl. They don't just be down somewhere with them. Right. Where's the stroller? Why is she click-clacking down the street holding the baby so you can record it so she can look like Brenda's got a baby? It's a struggle in these streets. Young black girl got pregnant by a creep. You know what I'm saying? Like, good night. Good night. Y'all have fun with that, though. Child. Going to the mall this weekend made me realize I'm glad I don't have no children. Y'all can have it. Them little fucking monsters. Y'all can have them. All right, y'all. Let's listen to what happened with Lil Wayne and the white women that he likes to date and disregard.
Okay, so for everyone DMing me about my story I posted, yeah, this is actually a fact. Wayne literally kicked me and my daughter out on Mother's Day today, and I am just recovering from surgery. I am 5 weeks out from a full mommy makeover. I can't even lift boxes, but this man has his assistants and people coming to help kick us out today. Like, and broke up with me on Mother's Day through text. And and her birthday's next weekend. And I leave to New York this week for all the Sports Illustrated press. Like, when I tell you that I am absolutely unsure on how to even process my emotions, like, if y'all got lawyer recommendations, please send them because
I'm a white woman and I hold these niggas accountable.
So yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know I tell all of the black women that y'all don't be holding, they tell all the black women that we don't hold them accountable. But if there's anybody that will call the police or a lawyer on a black man, it's a white lady. Thank you.
I know he has 2 girls being flown in today, and who knows how many plethora of girls he has.
So you got kicked out and discarded for a new set of girls. That sounds like rich nigga shit.
I've been nothing but supportive to this man, loved him till the end of the world, but okay, so for everyone DMing me,
I just need to see the part with her daughter one more time.
About my story I posted, yeah, this is actually a fact. Wayne literally kicked me and my daughter out.
Yo, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But the daughter, I'm sorry. It's so disingenuous, but also so hilarious. I keep telling my mama stop fucking with these rappers, but she's forever a thought.
She was a fan of the show. She was not only a fan favorite, but she's a Lil Wayne favorite, and they hang out. They do things once in a while. And she invited me to go to LA with them tomorrow. So he's flying us out first class and we're going to hang out and have a good time. And oh my gosh, I need to lay out by a pool. I need to drink a margarita by the.
Please don't take it for granted, because granted, love for you is real. If you don't love me, somebody else will. Baby, don't you ever get too comfortable. Hey, don't get too comfortable, because I'm going to kick you out when I want another set of middle-aged white women.
The sun, you know what I mean? It's just fun being us.
Isn't it? Meanwhile, I'm over here living my best life with the top down and packing for LA. Hope you are happy, you homewrecker. Child, I need for everybody to be so fucking for real. I need y'all to be so fucking for real. For me though, y'all, like, it's the way Wayne is like actively seeking out same age white women to like convince that he loves them, also he can throw them out. And then the white girl are like, oh my God, I'm just so grateful. Like Lil Wayne's gonna take us to the beach. I just love my life, you know? And all I could think about is, and you could that Martin episode where he went to see Varnell Hill, you get some sisters in here. The fuck? Okay, you need to get you some sisters in here. Light skin with sisters. Regine ain't say nothing, and Regine should stay quiet. Regine should stay quiet. Because you know your daddy ain't shit. Don't do that. You know your daddy ain't shit. Don't come to the front. Don't come to the front. Don't get in front of the bullet, young girl. Just mind your business and stay somewhere where this ain't got nothing to do with you. Okay. This is one of those times like, girl, this is sad, but this how them men be. I've been told y'all that Lil Wayne was mean and disrespectful. But y'all didn't believe me. Right? Right? When I tell y'all, it makes my ass itch the way black people be on it. Like, not just black people, New Orleans people be somewhere bucking for Wayne. Nigga wouldn't spit on you if you was on fire. Unless it was a tax write-off. Listen. You don't know the good things people be doing behind closed doors. You don't. But you do know the fucked up shit that they do out in public. Okay? He been with her for a minute though. He been with that the niche chick for a minute. Girl, just leave with grace. Getting kicked. There ain't no fucking grace in getting kicked out. Are y'all okay? Are y'all okay? Listen, I'm not mad either way. If it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go. That's why you hoes shouldn't be so emotionally invested. Talking about, I did so much for this man. But that's why I feel like y'all need to stop getting mad at the women that's upfront about it, right? Y'all love these bitches that's gonna pretend, oh my God, white woman, big titties, big ass. I love him. I'm doing everything for him. I support him. Y'all go up for that, right? The young black girls already know the game. They know these niggas just gonna play them out. You gonna fuck them, soak up my energy, and then you gonna kick me out. Because that's what y'all did to a nigga mama, a nigga sister, a nigga cousin. Like, we already know what it's hitting for. So if we come into you and you got the bag, just give me the bag. Why do you want my emotions to be in it? So it will hurt me when you kick me out on Mother's Day with my daughter in the street. Because let's be fucking for real. Y'all will be like, oh, that's Wayne. That's the way life's supposed to be. You men will congratulate him on his ability to kick these out and fly in some new ones. But as soon as the young women peep game and start handling them niggas about this money and no real emotions, y'all get mad. Y'all get mad when the girls are no longer emotionally invested and just about it for the paper that it's about. That's all they really gonna get out of it anyway, is some money. So they might as well be thinking about that at the forefront of their mind when they in these relationships, but y'all get mad at them and say that they gold diggers. But if they wasn't gold diggers, they would just be being used up for nothing. The fuck? I had a stepsister, Lil Wayne used to call my house phone for her. She was 16. My mama said, do you know this is a child? Don't call here again, sir. He knew. He knew. I'm going to tell y'all, I think y'all don't really know how much people, but men love validation that they don't have to work for, right? So the younger the woman, the more they get praised for doing shit that grown women know you should be doing. They really, you know what I'm saying? Like they really want to be with women that are going to be excited because they're black, be excited because they're rich or because they play music. Like you want somebody to be excited about bare minimum shit. And they only feel that way when they have a lack of knowledge, when they either, have lack of closeness to black people or lack of money, lack of age. All of those things will have you so excited behind a mean ass rich nigga that's actually being stingy. You think he's showing you love, but in real life, he love bombing you. It's not real love, because when it's time to go, let me tell you, you want Mac. In real life, I'm going to suck a certain amount of time out of a woman. If I was really be a rich man and felt like I wanted to do this, but do it in a way that was ethical, I'm not just going to kick you out. I'm going to tell you it's time for you to leave. I might give you a little go away check. I might give you a certain amount of time to go and find you a place and give you the down payment for it. Okay? Every time I was fucking with you or fucking you, I would be calculating how much I think I owed you for times rendered. And then when it was all said and done and I was tired and I was ready to move on to the other one, I would make you sign paperwork. I would give you a little check. I would set you up and send you on your way. But niggas do mean shit. They do heartless shit. They let women give all of their time and their effort, and they got it. They got it. They can send them hoes out a little bit better than that. But they don't. Because they want to mistreat you. Because they get off on being able to just disregard you like that. But if you was really a man with money and doing this shit ethically, where, look, we going to have a nice time for amount of time. During that time, I might want you to live here. If you want to do that, then you can live here. After the relationship is over, because it will be over at some point, you're going to have to figure out what you're going to do with your life. So don't be out here not working and shit and then mad at me that you can't get a job because you didn't spend 6 months to 2 years not really working. But if you still working like the other girl was, you should have never been trying to live with that nigga without also retaining a place for you and your daughter to live that don't belong to him. I'm just saying. There's a way to do this that's not just, taking all this time and energy from people and then leaving them worse off than you found them. Right. They want to be transactional, but don't want to be treated transactionally. Exactly. And that's because you got to be getting over on somebody. Right. Never a nice ethical send-off ever. No, for real. For real. But that's why, I don't feel like women should be out here seeking that type of shit from men. Enjoy it, but always have your own. Don't you ever be resting on your fucking elbows in no nigga house so he can throw your ass out. And a nigga like Wayne gonna throw you out. What you thought? Like, what you thought? And you must have did something to piss him off in order for and I'm not saying whatever you did was wrong. I'm just saying something must have happened in order for him to want to play you out on Mother's Day. That's disrespectful as fuck. That lady was all excited to lay by his pool. Didn't care about getting a ring or money. She just got surgery paid for so you can get enough. Listen, make your investment. You know what I'm saying? Spend time with an ugly nigga. Get a little change and move on about your way before they throw you away. Sisters Keeper, thank you for the super sticker. Goody, thank you for being a member. I said Tory is probably treating people like August, which is why he gone till November, bitch. I'll be gone to November. I'll be gone to November. Okay. Hey, Crystal, I read that one. I am Lady Chris Media. Thank you for the super chat. They believe that if they do what men usually do, the results will be equal. Men are groomed to center themselves and discard everyone around them who aren't a good source of energy to drain. Right. And because women are the victim of this, they believe that they would be doing it the exact same way that men would be. And no, babe, use your imagination. There's a lot of in between. As I just explained, there's a lot of in between. And a part of that is just being honest with people, allowing them to make their own decisions. And then also being real enough to say that, okay, I'm not ready for it to be over. But if you're ready for it to be over, then it's over. And you just got to let it rock. It hurt, whatever. Get over it. You will. You always do. That's how this shit goes. You just got to be real with yourself. You don't want to be, people don't want to be real. And that includes the delusional rich men that like to seek out women to proverbially suck their dick. Okay. And literally. Estella Mack, thank you for the super chat. I met her in LA last year. She was walking her dog. She hella cool and gorgeous in real life. Definitely that girl. Then and now. Periods. Who we talking about? Because I missed it. Who we talking about? Raven? Who we talking about? I don't know who we talking about. Banji Baby, I think I read that one. Thank you. J Jersey, Kiki, Project Ponytail by Demi Waynes. Yes, I read that one. Elf MC, thank you for being a member. Hi, BondyBlue. I'm not sure why she came to the internet. I'm not going to embarrass myself publicly. Put the dude on blast. Same. But it's because they want attention. They need to be able to milk it in some type of way. Oh, you talking about Wayne's ex-girlfriend? Like who? Who we talking about was real nice and gorgeous in real life? You ain't saying who we talking about? She was talking about Raven. That's what I thought. Okay, got you. It was Raven. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, no, I like Raven. I think Raven is somebody that is about evolving and figuring her own shit out. And I think she's been able to do so in a beautiful manner. Okay, let's move on. All right. So here. I don't know what's going on, but I wanted us to discuss.
Been particularly challenging, I think, for us to be able to navigate the space of balancing work. Yep. You okay?
No, it's just that question. I was just talking to Josh about. I'm want to be honest. It's just hard. It's not easy. It's extremely hard. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Okay.
I am okay. It's just hard, like, to balance everything. I be trying my best. My wife be trying my best. We be exhausted. Like, I want to be honest. I can't sit up here and be like, we have a village and everybody know. It'd be hard. And it takes a lot of faith. I'm sorry. It's just, it takes a lot of this. Like, there's a lot of times you feel like you don't got nobody else. You solo. You in this by yourself. And I can look over and I got my.
I don't have 2 kids and I'm exhausted.
It's just tiring. Like, it's hard.
It's been particularly challenging, I think, for us to be able to navigate the space of balancing work. Yep.
And I want to do all the things as a dad and a husband, and I know she wants to do all the things as a mom and a wife.
Yeah.
It just be hard, you know. And then people watching y'all and y'all couple goals and this and this. Like, you don't want to mess this up, because if people are believing in you, you have now a responsibility to be what they see in you, because you stepped out here and said that this is what we want to be, which is what we did. But I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Which is, I was going to sit here and just give you the factory answer, but I can't. Well, I'm tired. I'm tired.
Yeah.
You know, I miss my wife. I miss my kids. Miss myself sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I get tired of being Zach. I'm tired of being the DeVal that got to perform in interviews and I want to just be DeVal sometimes. I want to just be like, everybody today. You know what I'm saying? I want to, but you can't. And that's just a fact, because when you decide that, and I want to do all the things as a dad and a husband, and I know she wants to do all the things as you want to invest in something that is bigger than you, you have a responsibility. Yeah. And that's just the honest truth. We have a responsibility to do this. We chose this. We're doing this together. So it's fun at times, but it is hard.
Okay. I was tired this day of press and just decided to tell the truth. So here we go. So I'm going to tell y'all, after watching this, the first thing that came to my mind, I know y'all want to say he acting and shit. And until I get any further information about their relationship, because y'all know I always said somebody was going to fuck that lady husband. I've always said that because there's just no way around it. You look like that. You famous by way of Tyler Perry, which means a lot of desperate, thirsty women are going to grow and fantasize about you. And if they ever see you in public, they're going to throw their coochie at you because of what you represent to them, which is fine and sexy, and you're Zach, right? Oh, he had to cheat, girl. I don't know if he did. I don't remember if they talked about that or not, because I don't be on them like that. But this, thank you. This is really about this. Thank you, Banji, baby. Tyler Perry making them shoot 50 episodes in 2 days will do that to you. That's it. That's what this is really about. That's what this is really about. And you know what's so aggravating? I saw that Taraji P. Henson posted that she just did a new project with Tyler Perry and filmed the shit in record time and all of that. And somebody was in the comments talking about, yeah, I don't like the way y'all always going in on Tyler Perry, but he's the only one that employs us. And I just kind of feel like you are not going to imprison us in that way. And that's why I get tired of the imprisonment of blackness sometimes, which says you can't critique, ridicule, or call out a black person because they doing something for black people. So we can't point out that it seems rigorous and kind of like a torture to keep forcing people to film in short periods of time, overexhausting themselves over and over again. And when I told y'all that Carlos King and Tyler Perry had a lot in common, and y'all told me that I was pulling that out of my ass, but if y'all ever noticed, this is probably the longest break Love and Marriage Huntsville has taken since I don't know when, because Once Carlos realized that we wanted to see that show, they never took fucking breaks. They will overwork their artists. They will overwork their artists and then pay good money to those of the black people that really don't need Tyler Perry. And when I say that, Taraji can get work with anybody. There are a lot of people like DeVal and the people that came up through Sisters and all of that may not get the work if it's not for Tyler Perry. So I get it. I absolutely get it. There's a new Sisters coming out and I want to see it. I absolutely want to see it. DeVal's wife is in it. She's in it. And LaToya Luckett is in it. So I definitely, we all support whatever he does, but that doesn't mean we can't critique it. If I'm spending my money to go and see it and I have an issue with it, I can still say whatever my issue was, because guess what I did? I supported the nigga when I went and paid to see it. I supported the nigga when I went and streamed it and talked about it on my podcast, on my YouTube channel. I supported him because I actually went and viewed what he did and then came and talked about it. That's the support. That's as much support as I have to give. I don't have to not tell the truth in order to support somebody. Per Taraji, she's not getting calls for roles. And it's probably because she talked about not getting paid enough. Y'all want to talk about real conspiracies? Y'all want to talk about the real ways that this racism shit will tear people down? It's somebody like Taraji being so talented, having so many good projects in her belt and getting to a point in her career where she talks about not being paid what she's worth in this industry and that causing her to be blackballed. So yes, thank you, Tyler Perry. But also, you don't have to be a slave shop in order to help the black people. You don't have to keep stretching them beyond their means so we can be grateful for you. Like that's, exactly. He's not above criticism. And two things can be true. Great. We love Taraji. I would never want Taraji to be out here not getting her paper or not being able to see Taraji in projects. I love her. Regardless of how, she shows up sometimes as, you older decades of pick-me male identified women in the way that they speak, but in the way they live their lives, not the same, right? Because they make decisions for themselves, but when they get out here and talk to everybody, they still giving y'all low-key bad advice. But yes, it is very much the way Tyler Perry has done chitlin circuit, whatever fuck it's called, it's chitlin circuit with black actors. And it's like, yes, we want to see the projects, but we also don't want you working them damn people in the ground for the sake of it. Like making it harder for them to get the money that they do get, but then you want us to praise you just because you did it. Like, come on, y'all. It's something so fucked up and exploitive about it, y'all, to be a black man and know what we go through and then still find a way to cut a corner that enslaves us a little bit. And that's what DeVal looked like. He's like, that show is successful. We want to see more of Zach and Zatima. We want to see more of, because that's when it hits good and people just want more and more of it. But you have got to give people the break that they need. You have, especially when you're an artist, when you're acting and all of that, you can't keep stretching these people until they can't stretch anymore. And that's what I feel like really be going on sometimes with Tyler Perry. It's like the news business. You rush the product and it come out fucked up and now you mad about it. Stop rushing the product. Damn, I miss the days where people would go away and, come back with something really good. Not this constant, I got to put out content. And that's really what it is. Even when it comes to YouTube, we have to feed a beast. At the end of the day, I feel like that's why I know how talented I am, because I can get up here and entertain y'all when they ain't got shit going on. Okay? But y'all pray for them black people, because I feel like they're really out here working themselves to death. So y'all, I wish we would stop hearing about these two individuals. I'm tired. Anthony Edwards accuses Aisha Howard of devising a calculated plan to conceive a child with him, wants her sanctioned after she submitted ovulation tracker as evidence. I guess he thinks that just because she was tracking her ovulation, that meant she was trying to get pregnant, as if women don't track their ovulation period, so they'll know when their period is coming, when they'll, you know what to expect. I've never really been good at tracking my shit. And once I found out that y'all, the government was going to be watching it because we in Handmaid's Tale, the intro. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, nah. Y'all don't need to know. I figure it out my damn self. I'll go through the flow of life by the moon like all the old bitches used to do. Okay. follow the cycles of the moon, bitches. Okay. But what you will never get out of in this situation is that this is a very cut and dry case of man not being accountable, woman doing grimy, which I want to call gold digger shit, right? But at the end of the day, this is two attractive individuals that decided to have raw sex together. I believe the woman knows that I can get pregnant. And if I get pregnant, I can get money out of him. He knows the woman can get pregnant. And if she gets pregnant, then she can get money out of me. So instead of wearing a condom or getting a vasectomy, he still chances it, because he believes on the back end he'll be able to bribe, pay, or bully her into, putting his number down, because he did get 4 women pregnant in 1 year, I believe. So yeah, I think this is just really cut and dry, and I want them to leave us alone. If she's gonna raise the baby and love on the child and take care of the child on her end, and he pays his child support, I don't need to hear anything else about this. I don't think he needs to be a father, but I also think he needs to be responsible for his dick and stop looking for women to go and put themselves through traumatizing, shit, just so you don't have to be accountable for being reckless with your dick. And that's the thing that I can't get jiggy with y'all about, when y'all try to act like, the women and the men are doing the same thing, when I feel like if the woman is not dropping a baby off on your fucking doorstep, y'all are not doing the same thing. A woman having a baby knowing that I will have to be the person taking care of, like during the energy, I will have to exert the physical energy of taking care of this child, which is most of the work. I think once the women feel like I know I can and I am prepared to do that, that's the women taking accountability. Or if the woman didn't want to have the baby and she went and got rid of it, that would also be the woman taking accountability. But it's still up to her once you decided you didn't want to be accountable for your sperm. He can get a vasectomy. He can wear a condom. Like, there are so many ways that this rich black man can control his dick. But he chooses not to. And he chooses not to because we live in a society that will bully women for men's decisions. We live in a society that makes women responsible for everything that men do. So the man can go around lying to women, being rich, and giving them cash register babies. And then we get mad at the women for accepting the cash register baby. I think y'all are weird. I think if a man doesn't want to have babies with a whole bunch of gimme girls, it's very easy for him not to do that. But I don't think y'all want to. I think y'all like these very toxic situations where you get to fight with some woman that you have sexual tension with. Like, you must get off on all of this confusion at some point. Like, you must get off on feeling the stereotype of black buck with reckless dick and small brain. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're strong and physical, but you stupid and dull as a box of rocks and mean. And now you got a little bit of money, so you hold it over women's heads. You just want to fuck them and toss them, but you don't want to wear condoms and you don't want to get a vasectomy. You just want to bully the woman into doing what you want her to do. There's a theme that I've been seeing of men doing that. Like, men don't go and get the woman that will give them what they want. They go and get with a woman so that they can bully her into giving them what they want. It's almost as if it's about dominating. It's almost as if it's all about domination and dominating the woman in some respect. That's what it's starting to feel like. Okay. Listen, hold up. Heavy on the choose not to both ways. I stay on my son and my daughter. Anything you do, stand in, because I'm not the one gonna let you run from it. You are accountable for you, not no one. Exactly. And the way grown ass men have arguments with people that basically remind me of what your mama and them used to say back in the day. Oh, because everybody jumping off the bridge, you gonna jump too? Because whenever somebody would do something wrong and you like, why would you do that? Oh, they was doing it. Okay, so just because everybody else doing dumb shit, you gonna do it too. Is that right? Grown ass men be missing that lesson. I guess they didn't learn that lesson growing up, that you fucking up is not excused because you can point me in a direction of somebody else that's fucking up too. That's so weird. That's so weird. Lil Wayne story. I heard another YouTuber channel and she said he looked I'ma say, you know, he looked like he needs some nutrition, some water. You know what I'm saying? Some vegetables. He's a vegetable, you know? All right, y'all. I feel like I'm about to hang it up flat screen because I've been up here for a minute. You're not gonna save, you know, Diddy stuff for later. So I'm gonna go now. I hope y'all enjoyed the show today. I think I covered everything. Tory Lanez, Raven Simone. Oh no, let's discuss Diddy. Let's do Diddy. Because y'all know how much I love to run my intro.
I'm a savage. Whatever I want, I'm going to get. Whatever I want, I have to get.
Can't stop. Won't stop.
All right, everybody. In the Diddy update, we're going to start with Drewski. Drewski was accused of assaulting a woman alongside Diddy and also Odell Beckham Jr. And our girl Lauren LaRosa has been doing a deep dive and wanted to set the record straight. Okay, remember the Drewski's court filing in response to a woman claiming he'd sexually assaulted her with Diddy and Odell Beckham Jr.? Well, I reported that in the filing, Drewski's legal team included evidence to speak to Drewski's defense against the claims. Phone records and bank statements that showed he was in Georgia, broke with no affiliation to Diddy or Odell Beckham Jr. yet at the time of the alleged sexual assault. Yesterday, I was able to pull the full filing, and in addition to the above, the full filing includes more evidence via Drewski's attorney that placed him far away from California and opposed the timeline of the woman's claims, including 1, a police report the alleged victim filed in California that mentioned an alleged assault that happened to her during the same time frame she alleges Drewski, Diddy, and Odell Beckham Jr. Would have been assaulting her, but the report has no mention of them in her police report. There are other men mentioned, so these men aren't even mentioned in her police report. Okay, evidence that Drewski had been in an escape room with family and interviewing and accepting via email a job offer from Georgia Longhorn Steakhouse within a time frame of the claims. There's an email offering the job to him on the day the assault would have taken place. Because of the above, Drewski's legal team is asking that the alleged victim and attorneys be sanctioned and the lawsuit be dismissed. Okay. Listen, if they got the evidence to prove that this freak ass nigga ain't do that shit, then go ahead and lock him up, girl. Where's the lady that lied? Get the lady that lied, pull her to the front. Y'all can't be out here lying. Why you always lying? Why you fucking lying? So the feds allege, because y'all know Diddy's trial is going on and everybody is down to the courthouse giving y'all the feedback blow by blow. I'ma just wait for somebody to tell me something interesting, because I ain't got time for y'all to be telling me how Diddy is looking at everybody in the courthouse, how his energy ain't really that big. And I don't give a fuck. Tell me what happened when something worth happening happens. Okay. So federal prosecutors didn't hold back during opening statements in Diddy's federal trial. They laid out disturbing allegations claiming he ran a network of violent adult parties referred to as freak-offs, wild king nights, and hotel nights where women were allegedly forced to allegedly ordered an escort to use the bathroom on Cassie in a degrading act. The feds also allege Cassie, who first met Diddy at just 19, was abused for years. They say she was beaten for speaking to other men, kicked in the back, dragged by her face, and stomped on in a vehicle before being hidden in a hotel. Prosecutors say that she was blackmailed with explicit footage and felt like she had no choice when he demanded more of the events. Another woman, Jane Doe, says she suffered similar abuse after meeting Diddy in 2020. Prosecutors say she was denied protection at these gatherings, had to take substances to cope, and even got sick mid-encounter, but was forced to continue. I think that's the one that said she threw up. She too was allegedly physically harmed and controlled using explicit recordings. The feds say Mia, Diddy's former assistant, will testify that he assaulted her by reaching under her dress and violating her without permission. She's one of several women expected to testify, including Cassie and other witnesses from the events. Prosecutors argue this was a years-long criminal operation. Diddy is facing 5 serious federal charges, including trafficking and racketeering. He's pleaded not guilty, and his legal team claims on all interactions were consensual. Yeah, no. And somebody saying that's how I know Carisha getting pissed on. Lord have mercy. It amazes me how many sick and slow women there are in these comments. Yeah, because they act like, why you let him do that to you? Why you keep going back? Like, in ignoring all of the times when that nigga went and got her, like sent goons to get her, like snatched her out her house and brought her to him. Like, there was nowhere to run. There was nowhere to run. It's a setup. He might get out. We'll see. Camille B defense is very, very weak. Transcripts are out. Yep, the news was interviewing her. People really don't understand coercion. They really don't. They don't until you explain it based on something that's happening to them, because everybody's being coerced in one way or another. You just don't view it that way. But anytime you're in a situation where you would rather do something else, but you are feeling guilted or pressured into doing the opposite, so you do it, that's coercion. I feel like as young women, that happens to us from child. Like, once you start realizing you are always low-key being coerced. Like, always. Like, the fuck? A part of like parents raising their daughters is teaching them not to fall into coercion, while at the same time teaching them to kind of be susceptible to coercion, right? Because you teaching your daughter, oh, don't worry about them little boys, you don't be doing nothing. But at the same time, you kind of censor their lives around when they'll find the ideal little boy, right? And so the fact that, oh, little boyfriends, oh, y'all look so cute, y'all can go to little kitty prom. Like, stop acting like people as parents don't impress romantic relationships on their children as soon as they start coming into age. You impress these things on them, but then also once the girls start, and also they're seeing your example. If I watch my mama center her whole fucking life around my daddy, you think it's gonna take me a long time to go find somebody else to center my life around? Y'all act like the examples that y'all show don't have effects. The examples that you show the girls growing up about centering everything around a man, taking deep breaths, taking sacrifices, taking L's, doing all of this hard ass work for a nigga. Y'all act like the young girls don't grow up seeing that shit. It makes it easy for them to be coerced into doing things that they don't really want to do. I can't tell y'all how many times, even as an adult, it depends on how people catch you. But I can think back, like, it happened so fast in a moment sometimes that you don't even realize you was being coerced. All you felt is, I don't really feel like doing this, but I guess. If you have ever felt that, I don't really feel like doing this, I don't really want to do this, but I guess, just so that they'll leave me alone. Because sometimes people will not leave you alone until you acquiesce. I experienced that a lot growing up. Like letting people apply pressure, which basically meant they keep going and keep trying and keep trying, and you think that shit cute, but no, like because eventually you saying yes out of guilt. Yes. And let's not even talk about how, sometimes your parents, oh, he's a nice young man. You don't want to go out with him. You don't want to give him a second chance. Everybody makes mistakes. Like, you will hear the coercion to go along with men, especially if men have money, from everybody around you. And then when this shit like this happens, y'all be like, why she ain't leave? Probably because her whole entire life somebody been trying to train her to find a rich man, and she finally found one of the richest black men in the world. And everybody around her he's a good man, Savannah, a good man. Okay? Yes, we are socializing coercion constantly. Yeah, I can't tell y'all how many times I've been made to feel uncomfortable by somebody that was forcing themselves on me, or, just forcing situations that I wasn't comfortable with. But you have got to learn to honor yourself and say no and say stop and, you know, remove yourself. You have got to learn how to like stand on your boundaries. But I think sometimes it's not even that easy to do because in the moment, it depends on the circumstances. That's why nobody can tell me that Diddy did everything consensually because you kept creating the environment for the alcohol and the drug use. And when people are loaded, y'all, they just want to lay down, or if it becomes too much energy, you just want the shit to relieve itself. So you'll just go along and do shit when you're drunk or when you're high because you just want it to be over. And if you high or drunk, you can disassociate. But I can't tell you how many times I done had maybe 2 or 3 drinks. And if I was sober, I would have had harder boundaries. But because I'm loosey-goosey and tipsy and feeling good, my boundaries aren't as hard. And I'm a 30-something-year-old woman. So I'm telling y'all, when they do that shit to 19-year-old girls, when they do that shit to 20-year-old girls, stop thinking that everybody is all in control of themselves at all times. Because in real life, when you tipsy and a nigga with money applying pressure, right, Jazzy? A nigga with money applying pressure, right, Jazzy? Come on. It's all coercion, man. It's all coercion, and we learn to live in it. We learn to just let people do whatever they want to do to us because it's easier than fighting them. Our whole society is like that. Okay? Alcohol and drugs impair your judgment. So does the trauma of abuse. Absolutely. Especially Baptist church, 7 times 7, forgive him, turn the other cheek. Churches teach us to accept abuse. And then when we talk about it, everybody want to act like, oh, it's not the religion, it's the people. At some point, that's irrelevant. At some point, an argument about it not being the text, it's not the religion, it's the people. That shit is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. I don't care. I don't care. It's where it festers. It's a place where this attitude festers and grows. That's all that matters. In the corner of a church is where you will be coerced and bullied into doing things you don't want to do so you can be of service to somebody. Hello? I want to be of service. I want to be of service. You want to dishonor yourself so you can make somebody else happy. That's what you want to do. But yeah, y'all, they say Diddy's pissing on people. Mm-hmm. That's what they all like to do. They all love their degradation and humiliation. And I think people should just ask themselves why. So LB Shore confirms he believes Diddy is responsible for him going into a coma from multi-organ failure, stands firm in his belief that Kim Porter didn't die from pneumonia, and reveals he's willing to testify against Diddy. Now, let me tell y'all know I don't trust LB Shore. And I don't trust LB Shore because LB Shore sometimes comes off like you just want attention from all of this. Also, it seemed as if you was a man that wasn't really strong in your manhood at some point, and you let that nigga take advantage of you basically. And now you're trying to like showcase that that's not what's happening at every turn. But it always seems more energy seeking than honest to me when it comes to Al B. Shore. But this messaging contradicts what that white man was saying at the beginning of my live, right? At the beginning of my live, the white man is saying that all of these celebrity men, Diddy included, are being taken down and targeted, right? Al B. Shore feels like Diddy was doing that to him. The same type of accidental deaths that y'all feel like are happening to these monstrous celebrity men, they're actually performing that on other people. They're actually doing that to other people. But you want to victimize the rich celebrity black men so that nobody has to be accountable for bad behavior. That's what it feels like. A male dancer said, Diddy made her sign a contract by hitting her with a bottle and hitting her with his hand and saying, "You come when I tell you to come." Coercion. Like, and that's another thing people don't understand. One of the things I experienced is you don't have to hit people every day. You don't have to hit people every day. You can hit them every 6 months. You can hit them, after a year and a half from the last time you hit them. Maybe 2 years go by and nobody has gotten hit in a long time. But once you know that you can anger someone enough for them to physically harm you, You are mostly making decisions out of coercion and out of fear of being hit again. Yes, it is a mental, verbal, and emotional thing. And I think people don't understand the reason why people stay in these situations. Y'all always like, why she ain't leave? Why she ain't leave? Because the mental indoctrination was done first. If you indoctrinate, meaning like you a mesh, you get a person all wrapped up in their mind and in their feelings about you. Once you start abusing them, something happens in their mind where they keep trying to go back to the first version because that's what feels good. This feels bad. I want to go back to the good feeling. Our minds, our bodies automatically search for pleasure. So you want to go back to what felt pleasurable. But if you don't have, honest understanding of the things happening around you, seeking pleasure can lead you into a bad place. But if you have understanding because you've been taught about certain things, you can seek out pleasure in a way that is also a protection of yourself. Right? Because if you're taught that you can masturbate, if you're taught that you don't have to have sex with anybody that you don't want to have sex with, if you're taught that men use alcohol and drugs in order to coerce you, so you might think y'all about to have a good time, but really they're just trying to lower your guard so that they can take advantage of you. If you are taught these things for real, as you are out here as a young woman experiencing your attractions and your relationships, if somebody is giving you the proper way, I feel like, to go through this, you will make healthier, safer decisions for yourself. It doesn't always have to be one extreme or the other, right? So you can be a teenager out here having sex, but not being a whore, not getting pregnant, not letting everybody fuck, but you have your little relationship, you lose your virginity, and then y'all break up and some time go by. You get you another little boyfriend. Maybe y'all decide to have sex, but you learn not to be giving it to everybody, not to do it every time somebody wants you to do it. And if you ain't feeling it, to not allow them to even get close enough to you to get that out of you. Me personally, I'm not even attracted to most people. So it's very hard to get that type of response out of me. But that's just me. But I was also in some ways raised to understand sex, understand the reality of it, but also understand the ramifications. And if you can be real with your kids and talk to them and teach them those things, they will make better decisions and also censor themselves. Okay? Because a lot of the young girls out here are doing it. They know that they can have whatever relationship with a little boy, and they may not want that right now. And then when they want it, they go and get it, and it's nice. And then you move on. Did y'all watch Forever? Did y'all watch Forever on Netflix? This weekend, I watched the whole show. It was really good. Mara Brockakil and everybody who directed did very amazing. The actors did good. It was a really good show. Had a bitch emotional. The parenting by the boys' parents. The parenting by the boys' parents, y'all, was so everything. I loved it. It made me so emotional because you were watching parents not be perfect, but also being thoughtful and understanding. So it's not fully, because y'all have an idea of having more respect for your children as just allowing them to step over you, that soft parenting shit. But no, like for instance, I remember that there's a scene, of course, the moms want to protect their sons. They can see the things that will happen, but the father is like, he has to experience these things so he can learn how to protect himself. Right? It was all of these really, really good moments, but there was one moment in particular. Well, two actually, where the dad gave him the condoms, child comments. The dad gave him the condoms and then told him to put it on. And he was like, Dad, I know how to do this. And then he turned the lights off and he was like, now put it on. And then he saw how hard it was to put the condom on. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was like, because you really do want somebody that is going to give your kid the game that they need to be adults. But at the same time, for the mom, for instance, there was a time where he was having a real hard day and they was getting ready to go somewhere. They get in a car. Him and his little brother are arguing. The mom goes back there and sees that he's like, low-key hyperventilating. He's hurt. He's having some emotional thing with the girlfriend. And the mom says, go ahead, go back inside. We don't have to go. Looking at your child as a human that you are not always in a mindset of, no, I need to teach them responsibility. I need to teach them responsibility. Yes, but you also have to teach them how to take care of themselves in a real way. And one of the biggest ways that you can take care of yourself is to stop when you need to stop, to breathe when you need to breathe, to take the day off when you need the day off. And that doesn't just start when you're an adult. That should start when you're a child. I told y'all the other day, like, I really appreciated the Mondays and Tuesdays that my mom would sometimes let me stay home and I didn't have to pretend to be sick. She would just be like, you want to stay home today? And we would do something so simple. We might go to a matinee, or we might go to the mall, or we might just go to the grocery store and then come home and eat some of the snacks we got from the grocery store and watch a movie that we rented, because this is the 90s and all you do is rent movies. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like there's something to be said for, there's something to be said for, you don't have to be the same harsh parent that your parents were, but you also don't have to be just lying down at every front and not giving your kids any real structure or discipline. You have to find a happy medium between being a slave master and being a white parent allowing their child to act a fool in the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? There is an in between there. You know what I'm saying? And I really appreciated watching the parenting and just watching how, even when the shit happened, and I'm not going, I mean, when you first watch it, you see that the main character, Keisha, there's a sex tape out of her that's really harmed her, and she's hiding it from her mom. And the young guy who put the tape out is a star. You know, he's a basketball star, and everybody's riding his dick and they seeing him as the next, you know, Kobe or the next LeBron. So they want her to be with him. She doesn't tell her mom because her mom is so excited about her not having to struggle. So you go get with a baller, go get your man. 16, go get your man. No, bitch. No, homegirl. But the way his mom responded, at first, she's protective of her own kid. But when he told her that that wasn't right, the way she was acting, like judging Keisha over what happened, when you don't even know what happened, you don't know the circumstances, but you just think that, oh, now this is a little hussy that you need to just throw away. The mom said, thank you for throwing cold water in my face. And then she went about that situation with the care that it required. Because all these little black girls around you are your responsibility. And a lot of y'all boy moms forget that y'all used to be those little black girls. Y'all forget that. I mean, y'all, when I tell y'all it's such a good show, it's such a good show. It's Lovey. I forgot Lovey's last name, but she was in Greenleaf. Y'all remember the daughter in Greenleaf that was in an abusive relationship? Y'all remember her? She was on Greenleaf. But the show is called Forever on Netflix. It's scripted, of course. Mara Brock killed Dick Girlfriends, if you didn't know. And, you know, other shows that we love, Love Is, and, you know, but it's called Forever and it's on Netflix and it's really, really good. And it's one of those shows where, yes, there are racist things happening, but you know how whenever it's like a coming of age story, because we as black people are so used to having these, Lovey Simone, thank you. We're so used to having these moments where our everyday life is corrupted by something racist that makes us feel this anger and sadness and exhaustion, and you know, like, it's just all of these feelings. But I think we as black people, we know what that feeling is anytime we are supposed to be triggered by a white person entering into our lives and causing an issue, right? Whether it's police or, you know, parents or the Karen at the grocery store. I think, you know, what we feel a lot of as black people is us trying to live our happy lives, you know, or our, you know, calm, whatever our life is. We just trying to live our life. And here comes some angry white person mad. How dare you live your life? So we have to deal with that, whatever that looks like. This show had a way of protecting us from that in some way. And I really love that. I really love that you were able to watch it and not be, you know, worrying about fear all the time, you know? Yes, because there are times I was accused of stealing. I wasn't arrested, but I was about to be. If my daddy wasn't who he was, I was working at a Cold Stone in Baton Rouge, and it was right after Katrina, and I got a job there, and I liked the job, and I did good at the job. They accused me of stealing. I would never steal. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. You think I stole $5 from your register? Seriously? I was like, you actually owe me money for my uniforms. Like, that doesn't even make it, like, what? Yeah, maybe that's why. They called the police. I walked into the Cold Stone and the police were there waiting for me. And I had no idea. I didn't have any idea what was going on. I walked in. I was like, what was going on? And they're basically saying, oh, they got you on video putting money in your hand, money in your pocket, because basically they have a camera on the register. And so, you know, you just finished doing the ice cream. So you might have to wipe your hand before you take money and put it in the register and all of that, right? So they couldn't really clearly see. But I believe, and this is what I think now, there was a white girl that worked there. She did not like me. And I think she was the one that was stealing from the register. And she told them that she believed I did it. And they went and found something in order to say, you know, oh, there's video evidence. Almost like they were trying to trick me into admitting it by acting like they already had evidence that I did it. But I know I didn't. So I was just like, yeah, no. So I called my dad. And my dad said, put the police officer on the phone. And basically the conversation went something like, you better make sure you have evidence that she did it. Because if you don't, I'm going to sue the dog shit out of you. And just know I can. That was something how the conversation went. The police gave me my cell phone back and said, you just have to leave and don't ever come back. I was trying. That's another moment that I was traumatized. And it reminded me of what happened at prep, where I am oblivious and I walk into a situation where I'm being accused of something that I know I didn't do, but that I'm going to be in a lot of trouble for. You know what I'm saying? No, y'all, I tell y'all the good and I tell y'all the bad because it's both. It's both. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, for real. That's why I be, you know, I want y'all to understand, like, as a person, I'm working through issues. But also, I'm always very clear that I chose my parents. I'm always very clear that they loved me. I love them. I feel like I chose them because they were the best out of the options I was given. It's so funny. I was watching Real with Yanni the other day, and I believe she said, I think, was it her? Was it Real? No, it wasn't Real with Yanni. Might have been her. But I think it was Beyonce. I started listening to Tina Knowles' book, and at the beginning, Beyonce says, I really feel like I chose my parents. And I was like, me too. Me too. I definitely feel like I chose them. And so even, you know, with all of the bad, there was still a lot of good. But I still have to deal with the ramifications of the bad, just as I'm able to reap the benefits of the good. And people like to act like because things had their good, you can't release or try to work on, which means acknowledging the bad parts. But please don't ever get it twisted. Okay? I chose that weird ass nigga and I miss him every day. Okay? But yeah, y'all, like as a young Black woman, I have been put in situations where I was being accused of something that I did not do, and it could have ended up in me going to jail. Yeah. That's not lost upon me. That whatever that feeling is, drop to the pit of your stomach, and you like, but I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, that was something that repeated in my life. That feeling of I did not do anything and I'm still being accused of it. Even early on in my childhood, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. But like I remember one time, it was the holidays and my cousins was playing nigga knock. Anybody that know what nigga knock is, my cousins playing nigga knock. And you can ask any of my cousins that was there that day. It was Thanksgiving. And we would have holidays at our house a lot of the times, right? So we go outside and we running around the neighborhood, and I'm looking for my friends in my neighborhood to see if they're outside too. But my cousins was like, let's play nigga knock. They ran out ahead of me. I wasn't even with them. But one of my cousins knocked on somebody's window and broke it. I had no idea what happened. I was just walking around the corner, and then my dad is walking up behind me. I might have been like 8 or 9. And he's walking up behind me. Teach, get your fucking ass inside, screaming at me outside in front of everybody. So now you're embarrassing me in front of, everybody that's outside in the neighborhood. I don't know what's going on. All I know is I know what this is. I'm in trouble, and I don't even know what the fuck I'm in trouble for. I go inside, and because I think my dad was embarrassed because it happened to a neighbor, or I don't know, but nobody was listening to me. I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I was like, I didn't do anything. I was like, I didn't knock on anybody's window. I didn't break anything. He still took me in the back in their bedroom, which is literally down the hall from the kitchen. Everybody's in the kitchen. He jacks me, brings me into the back room, and whips me while everybody is like in earshot. I think he hit me maybe 3 or 4 times, and then my mom bust into the room to stop him. She had never done that before, but she did it because everybody was there. So that might have been one of the first times I remember being punished for some shit or being like, severely traumatized over some shit that I didn't even do. So that happened repeatedly to me. Things that, so that's why I was somebody that kind of stayed on my shit. I don't like looking over my shoulder because I often experience getting in trouble when I was still doing everything right. Still doing everything right. And still somehow end up getting in trouble. So when black men be on the internet yelling into the abyss, acting like black women don't also go through some of these exact same things of being ridiculed for being black. So you automatically are accused of terrible things, or you're automatically looked at as a troublemaker. I have been named a troublemaker at a job that I worked my ass off at simply because I made them give me the sick days that I was entitled to. And I was a little bitty thing. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you see what I'm saying about how it's crazy when you have a parent that protects you from everybody else, but they don't protect you from themselves? Bruh, the back and forth that you go through within yourself. And to me, I feel like it's narcissistic abuse. It's narcissistic abuse because I have to keep dealing with 2 different versions of you. I have to deal with the version of you that does not see me, that I cannot reach. And so you're going to hurt me anyway, because there's nothing I can say. There's nothing I can do. You're not going to see me in this moment because you're angry. So I'm about to get hurt and you're going to ignore me begging you not to. But then somebody else is going to try to do this same shit to me, and you're going to come to my rescue. So then I'm going to have to view you as, the protector and the great father, right? It is narcissistic abuse to constantly have somebody playing with your reality. So yeah, y'all, that's all I got. I was here for long enough. Y'all know I had to, I was having a day, so I needed to come and get it off my chest. And I hope it did what it needed to do for y'all. I hope you got something from it, whatever it was. Subscribe to BondyBlue Bites. I've been putting up clips over there, and I will be editing. I try to edit together at least 2 of my lives from over here every week and post them on BondyBlue Bites. So if you missed one, or if there's a specific topic that you wanted to see, you can go and look through, the playlist and all of the videos, which I need to update the playlist, but there are a whole bunch of videos, and y'all can go and check them out as you see fit. Right. Fear isn't respect. It's tolerance. It is. Because as soon as I can get away from you, okay, the energy changes. But I love you guys, and I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all day, and I will see y'all tomorrow for something. Thank y'all for engaging with the content. All right. See y'all later.